Merry Christmas. This is the Outside Gate with Steve Hall on the L4 Media Network, where we're talking US Moto and anywhere the conversation goes. Welcome to the first Bogan Christmas episode. With us today is my fellow Aussie Moto Bogan, Captain Gingerbeard. How are you, dude?
Hello, mate. I'm great. It's good to be here with you today, having a few beers.
That's right. We are drinking. It's a Christmas episode. And so just straight off the top, I'm just apologising for both of us for any poor behaviour. They don't call us bogans for nothing. And especially me, I know Ginge likes to partake in a beverage fairly regularly. I don't anymore since I turned into a fit old guy. I don't drink much, so they're likely to. But the love of beer hasn't left me. Beer is one of my three favourite things that all start with B. So there's beer and bikes, and guess the other one. And I don't drink that often, so good chance they hit me like a ton of bricks, and I start talking a lot of shit. Anyway, before I start, so what we're going to do in this episode, we are going to get into a bit of a pre-season breakdown, pre-season review, preview, I should say, and we've both figured out our top 10 predictions for the 450 class. We'll talk a little 250, but as you know, we don't know who the hell's riding where. There's some pretty solid rumours on a couple of teams, but so we'll mostly talk 450. But for a start, we're just going to have a bit of a general conversation. Ginger's got a few topics he wants to bring to the table about the season past, and I want to hear a little bit about what Ginger's been up to. So where he lives is Darwin, which is, if you aren't an Aussie and you look at a map, it's basically right at the top, right in the middle. It's the capital city of the Northern Territory, and that is basically, where you come out of a couple of days' worth of desert into a little bit of suburbia and the ocean and a lot of islands and a lot of rivers and lakes and swamps and definitely saltwater crocodile country, as well as a lot of other things that like to bite you. And you grew up there, Ginge, so to you it's just whatever, they're about, a bit like me, down where I am. The only really nasty thing we have is snakes. The bad snakes are everywhere across the country. So, but same for me. It's like snakes, whatever, as long as they're not near me pets or little kids, And but yeah, interesting place. I know a lot of the Americans still love Crocodile Dundee, and basically that was probably bloody shot outside Darwin for for all we know. Yeah,
it would have been in Arnhem Land there somewhere, which isn't too far away from here, only a couple of hours. But
cool.
Just like you're
and
saying, the crocodiles are just everywhere. If you go out and you don't see one, you're probably doing something wrong on a river system. So they're pretty.
Yeah. And you go out fishing for barramundi in a tinny on those rivers.
Yeah, occasionally. Yeah, not all the time, but everyone's starting to get pretty big boats now, so there's not much to really worry about in a 6-meter boat. You sort of do as you want, but
yeah. So you're out there in a 6-meter boat, and there's every chance that somewhere underneath you there's a 6-meter croc.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. 100%.
That's the way. So good for fishing, but not for swimming.
No.
Yeah. Ah, cool. Oh, and just I got to always remember when I say something that's too Aussie. So a tinny's just a nickname for a little boat made out of tin, I guess.
Boat. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what most tinnies are actually aluminium, not tin. That's just if a boat's at sort of pretty small size, it just gets called a tinny instead of a boat. Yeah, man, very good. Hey, so these topics you got, do you want to hit us up with some of them, or do you want to tell us a little bit about the Northern Territory motocross scene, because there is a little scene up there. You've raced up there, and and you've been involved with a bit of sponsorship and that sort of thing.
Yeah, so I raced a lot as a junior between I didn't start riding till I was about 12 on a 60, and then raced all the way through till I was 16 and gave that up to become a carpenter, as every smart bloke tries to do. And I spent a long time away from the sport before I decided I wanted to jump back in. I went down to a couple of race meetings and saw that there's not a lot of support from the bike shops anymore. And that's not a personal attack on them. It's just business, selling side-by-sides and adventure bikes and Harleys are far more profitable than just helping a couple of kids out on some dirt bikes. So I met a mate of mine down at the track having a ride one afternoon. We had a few beers together and decided that we'd team up and try and sort of bring a heap of local businesses together and sponsor us to sponsor these kids, sort of thing. We weren't looking at making any money out of it whatsoever. It was just something for us to entice a couple of kids to stay riding, and we never picked the fastest kids. We always picked the ones that looked like they had the ability to go fast. They just didn't have the right direction. So money and our time down there helping them always helps, but you're also limited with how much you can do having a sort of 6-day-a-week job also. So we're definitely trying to do the best that we can, bringing a lot of money through. It's definitely a decent couple of grand we're bringing through, just as two young local blokes that wanted to keep some kids on some motorbikes, and we really enjoy it. So
cool, man. Did you end up getting a bit of buy-in from the bike shops once you started?
Well, that actually took a couple of years to get going through the bike shop. We sort of just had the money and then bought the stuff through the bike shop for them. It wasn't till the start of this year, so that would have been 3 years in, where the bike shop let us set up an account there where our sponsors would just pay the money direct into an account, and then our boys could come in and spend the money on anything part related. They couldn't go in there and buy gear and stuff like that. It was just all parts for the bikes. But we supplied them with A-Stars, gear, graphics kits, all sorts of things. It was sort of a non-stop sort of revolving door of parts and gear, and it got a little bit out of hand there when the Aussie titles were coming up, so we had to pull the reins on it.
Yeah, so the Aussie titles were in the territory, weren't they? Did they ended up in Darwin? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a Acacia Hills Motocross Club, which is about 45 minutes out of Darwin, about half an hour away from Palmerston, where we live.
Yeah.
It's a tiny little track, but I would say, like, as my own opinion, it's probably more of a novelty track, like a backyard track. I've not really been around the country to see any of these other tracks except for one in South Australia, but it's definitely not to the sort of scale that you would expect an Aussie title to be. Understand?
Sounds like a good track for me. Sounds like a good track for me. Is it a good veterans track?
Yeah,
veterans track. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
There's no elevation. It's dead flat, and like it ruts up. It gets rough. It's a good little track. It was just, I think, for the juniors being like, I think they were doing like 1:20 around it or something. Like, I've never seen kids ride a motorcycle so fast in my life. Thinking, holy fuck. These little 125s just squealing around this track that I've ridden for years, going, me, I'm like 30 seconds down on the lap.
Yeah, no, some of these young blokes, man, there's like, I've been, most of the time in Vic, there is, it's a pretty good rule, and it's pretty well enforced that juniors and seniors aren't on the track together. But every now and again, when you get some kids that are real guns, really fast, they're actually safer with the seniors than being with the kid that's still learning the clutch on his 65. So they might swap it around for common sense sake. And I've had some of these kids fly by me, and I feel you feel bad and good all at the same time, because it's like I feel bad, like, fucking what an old cunt am I, you know, fuck. But
Yeah.
then you look at this kid and you're like, that kid's fucking awesome. So it's like a mixture of emotions in it. It's like, fucking how good's this kid, you know? So, you know, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Particularly rub salt in the wound when there's a jump that I can't even fucking clear, and then they clear it on their fucking 65 or their 85, you know.
I think
Fuck.
what hurt, I got a bit of an ego check a few years ago from young Caleb that rode for us. And at the start of that, we were paying him cash to get podiums and wins and stuff. And then at the end of the year, we just sort of accumulate the money and buy him gear and stuff like that that he needed for the next year. But when we first put him on, and I'll say this proudly, and I could smoke Caleb. I could blow his fucking doors off. But it didn't take very long, and I come back into the pits with my tail between my legs because I had nothing for it. They just,
Yeah.
they get to that age, and it's sort of like the 15, the 14, the 15, and it's like they wake up one morning and they decide, I know how to do this now, and it just, the speed picks up just out of nowhere. You think, how come you weren't doing that last week? What the fuck has changed?
Yeah, I get what you mean, man. I've seen that with some mates' sons and that sort of thing, you know. And you know, I was pretty involved with a junior off-road club, and yeah, there were some kids that were just fast right from the moment they were on a peewee, and then there's some other kids that are they're pretty good, but they're not like, you know, they don't quite have it, you know. And then
Yeah.
sometimes, yeah, they get to a certain age, and it is that sort of middle teenage years where all of a sudden it's just like, what the fuck happened, you know? And like one young fella in particular, I'm thinking of, he was a good little rider, you know, very competent in that, but always a little cautious, not super fast. And his dad's fast as fuck.
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen him for a couple of years, and he'd shot up and he'd gotten to, you know, like sort of 15 or so, and his dad said, he's fucking beaten me now. And I was like, what the fuck? And this kid's fucking lightning now. So yeah, sometimes they just figure it out, don't they? Yeah.
And the sport's such a niche little thing up here. There's, you know, at a race meeting, you be pushing to get 60 bikes on a race night. And our track is 2.2 Ks. It's average about a minute 50, 2 minutes if you're an A grader. And it's under lights all year, but we still struggle to get the riders there. Like, how many of you guys down in Victoria and or the eastern side of the country would love to have a racetrack under lights? But it's just, it doesn't get enough exposure up here. There's not enough people involved basically to have it as like a profitable thing for the club to continue to
Yeah.
have rounds all through the year. Like, they might have 6 rounds under lights for the whole year, but when I was racing for 18 years ago as a junior, we were having 9, 12 races a year under lights. We would do motocross. It was like stadium motocross, so it was like a minute lap time, and then there was a natural terrain track that was ran beside it. It was like the water cart lane. We used to race that
Yeah.
as well. And then
Yeah.
on a Friday night, sometimes you'd have flat track and short circuit to race at the same complex.
Yeah. Has just what's changed up there, man? Is the population, is there not as many kids now, or the population, the age has changed? Anything like that? Is Darwin filling up with fucking old cunts retiring to the heat, or what's
No,
the
so
story?
the average age of Darwin's population is like 33. So pretty
Oh, so
young
it's
sort of.
very young. Very young. Yeah, so they haven't got
Yeah.
enough kids yet. Yeah, okay, yeah.
And just from what I've noticed in the sport, it's a lot of the 4-stroke era pushed a lot of people out with the affordability.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
there are a number of A graders ride, like on a good night you get 10 on the gate. We've got a 40 gate start. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
with 10 bikes up there. People don't want to watch that, like it's a bit deflating if you go down there like, oh, I'm going to watch A grade and then there's 10 bikes on the line. But a lot of them are starting to jump on 2-strokes now to make it a bit more affordable. They're not the same age as I, 33. They're all 18, 19, up to 25, and then a lot of them sort of drop off the sport altogether, and you don't see them anymore.
Yeah.
But that was a big thing, was the expense, and I don't know what it is up here, but everything is more expensive. Like,
just honestly, man, I can answer that. Yeah, it's transport costs. Transport cost when the you can see that with what was it when Scott's went bust. So Scott's was the country's second biggest transport company. I don't know how many trucks, a fucking lot of trucks. And when the fuel prices went berserk there about, I don't know, what was that, 2-3 years ago, there was some. We better be careful we don't ease into politics, but there was some fucking excuse made to fucking ramp the price of fucking petrol up, and it basically doubled in a few months, didn't it?
Yeah.
And then it's never gone back down. And
if you didn't know what the excuse is, you've had your head up your ass the whole time. So
yeah, that's
there's no
right. Yeah,
to get into it.
And yeah, so transport costs just went berserk. So like the cost of just about everything in the country doubled. Well, you're a chippy. I'm I'm not allowed to call myself a chippy, but I do a lot of chippying because I'm an unqualified hack. But the price of timber doubled, man, didn't it? So like the price of timber doubled, the price of fuel doubled. So
we're having trouble just getting timber to build the roof trusses out of. Like, we couldn't even get a roof delivered because there's no timber around.
Yeah, because a lot of the Aussie timber comes from Tassie and New Zealand. A lot of the pine.
Yeah, we use.
So it was all sitting in the dock at Melbourne, and the big builders who are also been going bust, like the transport companies. They were buying up all the timber and
yeah.
Anyway, we better stop talking about that stuff, hey?
Well, it just always goes down the same spiral. We always start somewhere and it fucking taters off to something else completely.
We'll start being grumpy blokes, grumpy tradies, grumpy tradies fucking yelling about politicians.
The doom and gloom and nothing we can fix.
Yeah. So you better drag out. I know you got a list of notes there about some topics you want to touch on about the season pass, man. Yeah. So the floor's yours, man. Get stuck into it.
So I've spoken to a few people about this idea, and I reckon a lot of people have got the same opinion, if not the same, might be a little bit, but on the same sort of track. Is I really think the 250 class should be not a regional championship. I really think it should be the 17 rounds, and then you do 7 rounds of futures for the kids coming up. Because you want to have the elites on 250s, so then you're pumping when you get a 450 ride, because it's not certain, especially with this regional series. You got champions just every year, bang, 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 bang. Some of them disappear, some of them do nothing, some of them just ride around in 10th in the 450s. So why can't we have the 250 championship, 17 round championship? You win it twice, get a 450 ride. That means the 450 guys get their rides for a lot longer. They don't have to worry about, just some new kid because he's got it written in his deal, he's going to get a 450 ride. You keep them blokes on them bikes, like for Tomac's instance, for longer. Do you know sort of where I'm getting at? And then you stack the 250 class with the talent that really deserves to be in it, rather than splitting and group of people here, group of people there. It's really hard for the fans to follow a regional championship. Like, who the fuck's he? Where did he come from? How come none of them are at the race this weekend? Like, always
Yeah,
explain it
yeah,
to them. It's regional. Like, and on the broadcast and all the media, they're always banging on about how we need to make it easier for the new viewer. I was like, stop worrying about the new viewer, because they're not just going to stumble across Supercross and get interested and start watching it. It's for folks like us that are obsessed with it, hard into it. We do what you want with it. We're still going to watch it.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. You could put out cones in the fucking Walmart parking lot, and I'm still going to fucking watch it. So,
Yeah.
So cool, man. Explain the yeah. So, well, not explain, but I've heard that lots of times, and what I always wonder about is the people that miss out. But then what you just said about the futures is probably the out for that. So if the futures may be allowed, I don't. Does the futures even have that age limit or just an experience limit? But maybe the age limit goes up a bit in futures. So you get that kid, you get a kid who's coming from not a lot of money, and he hasn't been able to get to as many big amateur events as as other kids. Say he's grown up in Cali and he wants to just do West Coast stuff, and there's no way him and his family can afford to go east. But he's pretty talented. I guess if there's more of these futures rounds, that maybe gives that kid a chance to get out there in those. Do you get what I mean? Like I hate to think
Yeah.
people are missing out. Yeah.
Yeah. But I've also got an answer for that too. Is
Yeah, man.
where, so Pro Circuit have got 4 250 riders. They've got 2 East, 2 West, let's just say. So instead of that, they have 2 250 riders, their best 250 riders, racing the full championship, but the other two are now racing futures. So they still have the same amount of riders. They still have their other amateur program. It's just you step out of the amateur program into the futures, and then once you sort of point out of that, whatever, then you jump into the 17 round championship. I think it's gonna save a lot of bodies. I think, because you got
Mm.
twice as many people racing 2 championships. I think you might prolong their careers even a bit longer, and you're going to make them smarter a lot quicker rather than sprinting out a short series and then it's the jump to the 450 where they're like, oh, you've got to finish the season. Like, that's the first step. So, but if you've already learned that
Mm.
on a 250, I think you're going to save a lot of bodies.
I like the futures, man, and I'd like to see
So,
more of it.
yeah.
I mean, we run
So,
3 classes in Australia, and it works a fucking treat, doesn't it?
yeah.
It works a fucking treat. Like the MX3, SX3 class works awesome.
And you
Yeah.
could put like a mod limit on the futures bikes. I don't know if that's a good idea. Like,
Mm.
basically just an amount that the bike can be worth. I don't know if that's going to bring in claiming regulations and all that shit that happened at Loretta's the other year, but it's definitely something I've been thinking about for a few years. And then now that this SMX thing's come about,
Mm.
it sort of that sort of glorified my way of thinking. Was now they've got this SMX round, it's these 3 round playoffs, but there's 3 number 1 plates handed out over the year. As they say, if you're a new fan of the sport, how the fuck do you understand that?
Mm.
Now, in the
Yeah.
250 class, you've got 2 Supercross plates, you've got an outdoors plate, you got 4 plates you're handing out for one class over the year. What the fuck's going on? Who's the champion?
Mm.
So you could almost turn the 17 round Supercross season into 15, have a 10 round outdoor season, and then a 5 round playoff where the last 3 rounds are the last 2 rounds are double, triple points. But the first 2 rounds you drop 22nd to 15th. Then the next round you drop 15th to 10th. And then the last 2 rounds are just for the blokes in points to 5th. And battle it out like that. And have it as, when you win that's when you get the number 1 plate. If it's the SMX World Championship, that's the number one play, isn't it? Or are these other things?
I don't know, man. I'm not sold on. I'm not sold on that. I'm not sold on SMX. SMX is still a novelty to me. So yeah,
Yeah,
I think
that's what I'm
that's
thinking. What's more important? But as soon as SMX was on TV, they're like the most crazy thing ever, and then this person's won it, and that person's won it 7 times. You're like, what? Isn't this the first time you've had it?
Yeah, they I reckon even the guys who said those things and plan to say those things, I think they all know they were fucking that up. They were fucking that up, because they kept changing it. At one stage, Ricky was a fucking 20-something time fucking champion, like, because they were adding it all up to call him a Superman. Like, I think that,
Because it was the
and then
125 class, the 250 class.
They chilled it right back in the end and stopped all that shit. But yeah, there was, I don't know, like the SMX was fucking cool. It was extra racing. It was really interesting. It was great fun, but at this stage, it's a little extra novelty. It's a Monster Cup. It's a US Open. It's that sort of vibe, and I really enjoyed it. But that's the vibe it was. The premier titles are the ones that have always been there. So
yeah, and I totally agree with you. And my sort of thought in it is, why are you pushing something so hard if you're not going to make a drastic change with the sport? Just have that as a novelty thing. Call it the fucking, I don't know, the Monster Energy Triple Crown Humpty Dumpty Championship or something. Like, who? Like, fuck me, they race all year. Like, Jet fucking won it. Like, he didn't even race Supercross. So how is it a playoff? Like, wouldn't you have to be in both championships to win it? Like, I really don't understand how that works either. But the points,
it's not a playoff, man. The playoff terminology to me is it's not right. It wasn't a playoff. That's not how playoffs work in any other sport. Like, if it was a playoff, the last race would have had 2 guys in it. Which you can't do in motorsport. Like, I know NASCAR has their chase thing and all that, and I don't know how that works. So I don't know, but I think that might have been a little bit of the inspiration behind some of the terminology in that. But we'd have to ask our American friends what the fuck NASCAR does. But I do follow some stick and ball American sports, and I understand how playoffs work there. And it's exactly the same as how what Aussies would call finals in our mainstream sports, where basically
you get the
top bunch, and then it whittles down to the last 2. That's how our playoffs work.
Losers play the losers to stay in the top 8, and then away you go,
and so on. Yeah. But man, you had on your list there of topics, you had some more Super Motocross stuff. Is that stuff we've already covered in that little conversation, or is there another thing you wanted to talk about?
That was basically the gist of it. But I think, just going back to what I was saying, is they either go all in on the SMX, or they keep it but make it separate.
Yeah.
So it's not the SMX playoffs. It's just the season finals or something. So it's a bit like, just a bit more. It's another championship to win, not the championship to win.
Yeah. It's a different thing. It's a different thing.
Yeah.
I think it has to be. It has to be like that.
Just call it the Monster Energy Triple Crown again. Like,
because
it is 3 races. Like,
yeah. Keep it. It's a separate thing. To me, like, the hybrid tracks don't work. Like, hybrid tracks don't work. It's 2 different sports, so they don't fucking work, And I think if you want to do it, if you want to have a full Supercross round, a full motocross round, and then a Daytona-ish round or something like that.
Yeah.
So, where you sort of really sticking to the disciplines or the slight variances in disciplines. There goes another can for Ginge. All right, Ginge is on about fucking 8 already, I think, because he had a big fucking head start.
On the number 4, mate. Go settle down.
Number 4. So I just cracked that first one just at the start of the show. So while we're talking beer, so we both drink Victorian beer. So Ginge is on the Victorian Bitter, which is made in Melbourne, and it's very popular across the entire country, though, the green cans. And I'm on the Carlton Draft, which is made in the same brewery as the Victorian Bitter. It's just a different flavour, and it's probably the most popular beer in Victoria, along with the Victoria Bitter. So
yeah,
it's good stuff, hey. Good Aussie beer's pretty fucking good, isn't it?
Oh mate, when I went to England, I could murder someone for an Aussie beer. Like, I don't know how they drink it. I was trying Coors Lights and fucking Bud Light and all that other shit over in England. It was just rubbish, man. It's I wouldn't even call it beer.
What's your favourite international beer that you have tried? Mine might surprise you.
I actually can't bring the name of it to my head.
What country is it from?
I think it's an English beer. But they were in England. My partner's family was calling it domestic violence in a can, which is just the same as Victoria.
Not condoning that.
No, not at all. If you can't handle it, don't drink it. So
that's right. Yeah. Not even. Nah. I was just about to roll out a fucking classic one-liner from a classic movie, and I thought better of it. So move on.
I reckon if I had a favourite international beer, it'd have to be a Corona.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, everyone's drank them. Yeah, they're all right. They're pretty sort of, easy drinking. They're pretty
and that's why
they're just easy drinking, aren't they?
Too, I think.
Yeah, they're an easy drink. My favourite international beer is Asahi, which is a Japanese beer.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you've had it, but it's a fucking good drop. But it is actually like, if it was an Aussie beer, you wouldn't be surprised. Like, it's not bad stuff. I know I was just at a work function once at a sort of, a trendy Port Melbourne, Flogs pub, and they didn't have all your usual stuff. They had all the, craft beer and all the international stuff, and I got onto those Asahi Japanese beers, and fucking pretty good, man. Yeah, but like I've tried we all beer drinkers, you get on a thing where you go to one of these fancy Flogs pubs, posh restaurant sort of, or not posh. I don't go to any posh restaurant, but like a posh bar, a trendy bar, city bar, and they have all the different beers. We've all been to them, and you go like, well, I'm going to fucking just try one of all of these, and But then because you drink so much, you forget which ones you liked, so it was a fucking waste of time. So yeah, that happens. But cool, man. What else you got on that list? List of topics?
The next thing I want to talk about, I reckon, is sushi.
Sushi, my man.
Joe Shimoda.
My man, the little warrior. Yep.
I've got concerns. Not about Not about the program. I've got concerns about the future if he does well.
Yeah, why?
So you tell me, let's say he wins 2 regional Supercross championships in the next 2 years, right?
Yeah.
He wins,
when he wins them.
Let's be real.
When he wins them. He's my guy.
They might as well just post the trophy to Deegan's place because he's already won it. If he wins,
I think they're going to be on different coasts this year, which is good.
And I applaud Deegan. Everyone's been giving him a hard time about racing east, but why wouldn't you to win your first championship there and then win the harder one your second year and then bounce, go see you later, leave all your pussies behind? But I think if Joe goes and wins 2 championships on this Honda 250, where does he go?
Mm.
Where does he go?
I have
He's
thought
a
of that.
bottleneck.
Yeah, okay.
They're
I
not
get
trading the Hunter
your
out. They're not trading
yeah.
Hunter out for Joe. Like you signed under Honda to go where? Just like
Mm.
you win 2 titles and they go, sorry, I don't know if you heard about these Lawrence brothers, but we're not getting rid of them. And
Mm.
they never will, because if they want to,
No,
one of them wants to bounce to another team, they're going to be like, nah,
you're
here's
just going to
another,
pay him more. Yeah,
here's another couple hundred, you know.
yeah.
So I don't know if that's put Joe in a worse spot than what he would have been if he stayed at Cowie, but I
Mm.
haven't really
I guess
worked all that out.
if you're Joe, you're looking. You probably got to look short term at a 250 title for a start. I guess so. I guess that's where his mind's at. Where am I going to be to get this 250 title? But you're right. Like Honda's pretty locked in for a good while now, And but then I guess there's always a chance of depends on a lot of things. Like one thing we, us fans, even fans as like nose in ass deep as we are, is we don't know the financial side of things. We don't know about the money that gets spent. It's one thing that we're totally in the dark about. So whether in the future there's room for a 3-rider team, I mean, it's happened before. It's happened with different teams. Star Yamaha got it going right now, albeit that's Bobby Reagan's checkbook that's doing that. But there's been times in the past where factory teams have run more than 2 guys. So I guess it's never say never, but I guess he ends up not on Honda. If there isn't a spot. That said, there is a lot of riders. There's a lot of riders.
They're about to start dipping out.
Yeah. There's a lot. I remember I did an article trying to think. I did an article where there's a massive amount of them with 27, and that's probably a couple of years ago. There's probably a lot of them that are like 29 this year, that are going to, and like I mean a lot, like of our top 10 list we've got going now, like more than half of them will be gone in a few years. Most likely, some of them might get on the Brayton program and the Chad Reed program and stick around. But there's likely to be a lot of rides open up.
But does that create another problem where them 450 teams are now just going to pull their dedicated guys that have got on 250s up early rather than sliding someone in from another team?
Maybe.
So does it really open up any positions? All you're going to do is just transfer members of your team upper class and the spots aren't really open. It's just a facade, really.
Now, I think they're smart enough, man, that if a guy like Joe, say Joe goes out and he wins 2 regional titles in the next 2 years, which he could and should. And then Honda, and I'm biased as fuck because he's my guy.
Yeah.
But like Honda is like we can't afford a third 450 guy. The Lawrence brothers are it. Joe, you're going to find something else. There's and say for example Star, right? For example, Star, Eli's retiring, and Coop's retiring, and they're going to look at Joe compared to I guess like a Nate Thrasher, Daxton Bennick, these guys. I think the fact that if Joe had that great record, they'd still going to bring in someone with a great record over. I think performance is going to trump loyalty with these teams.
Yeah.
So I think
I agree with what you're saying. Definitely. But I just think Like, as a person, like, if I won 2 regional titles for Honda, I would want to race the 450 Honda.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah.
want
Oh,
to
yeah, I
go
get.
to another. Like, I've done this for you, so I can ride your 450, and now I can't. I've got to go, like, what if he ends up on Club MX or something like that? It's a completely different bike, completely different program. Don't have the resources, and then straight away it peels away that top layer of talent, and he's in another bottleneck then, because, man, I just think them Lawrence boys are going to get paid so much money you could launch a fucking space shuttle with it.
Do you think that I can see Myrtle starting to rival Elon Musk?
Yeah.
I can see the you know, I can see what if Myrtle started an electric car company, what would he call it?
The lollipop.
The
Because
lollipop. Oh my god!
he'd just be out there licking them, mate.
Just because he'd be licking them so much.
Yeah, saving them from himself.
No. Me and Ginge have privately picked on Myrtle a bit. There's nothing personal. There really is nothing personal, is there?
It's all
He
business.
just seems there's nothing personal against him. He just seems he's a fun guy to laugh about and pick on, probably because he's earning more money a minute than we will in our whole lives. So we just feel the need to pick on him. But I'm sure he's a great guy, and he's certainly doing a fucking great job. So there's nothing personal. But yeah, Myrtle has been the brunt of our jokes at times.
His talent for picking up the right rider at the right time is like
fucking it's great. It's great, man. Yeah, he's the fucking he's the
here's another check.
What's the
here's another check. Like,
your are you across the Back to the Future movies, or you'd be too young for that? No, cool.
I'm too young.
So he's got the all. He's gone back in time and he's got the All Sports Almanac, and he's going back in time and fucking signing people. He comes back and signs people. Yeah, he's Biff. Yeah. We're gonna call him Biff.
And Biff is something he probably could not do.
Yeah. Nah, fucking good on him. Good on him. We're still gonna laugh at his expense, but good on him.
I'm surprised he doesn't have a Louis Vuitton or something to carry around all his ego in, but I do like the man. He's done good for the sport.
Oh shit, props to him. But yeah, he's just one of those guys that's easy to make a joke about. But also too, I reckon he would probably be a guy who would he'd get the joke anyway. So he's an Aussie boy. Well, that's it. That's essentially it. Aussie boy done good. So in Australia, we have what is known as the tall poppy syndrome, which is basically when someone does good, when someone does really good, they cop a lot of shit. And that also explains why me and Ginge give the Lawrence brothers a lot of shit too, and Mertz, and anyone who does really good in Australia opens himself up to cop a lot of shit. But
I don't even class it as criticism. I class it as
no, it's just part of it,
because you should be doing what you're doing.
Yeah. No, it's just an Aussie thing, It's
you shouldn't have been able to leave this giant island and go and do what you've done. You should have stuck here in the trenches doing fucking nothing like the rest of us.
Yeah, you should be on it. You should be fucking screwing battens on a roof in Darwin like Ginger is.
Here's a coil gun. Here's a box of nails. Go to town.
Yeah. But that's the tall poppy syndrome. Look it up. What else you got, Ginger? Or are we going to get into this? We're going to get into our top tens.
I just want to talk about something with Jet for a second. I know everyone's talking about Jet, but fuck.
Yeah.
He hasn't got a nickname yet, does he? It's just Jet. Donut Boy.
Yeah. Donut Boy sometimes, but mostly it's just Jet. He's kind of, but Jet's kind of what, like, so how like Aussies every single name, so it either gets shortened or if it's already very short, you add a vowel, right? But
Steven.
Jet, yeah, Jet is sort of already a nickname, isn't it? He's sort of got
Yeah.
a name that's a nickname because it's not, you know, he's not a you know, he's not a Wayne or a Shane or a Steve, He's not a Mick. He's, like Jet's sort of already a nickname. So I don't know what you do with Jet because it can't be a
Well,
Jetto, it can't be a Jetty.
I've
It's
actually
a,
got
it's
a
a tough
nickname.
one, and you
I've got
can't
a
shorten
nickname
it.
written
It
for
can't
him.
be G. Yeah,
No.
what is it, man?
He's the janitor.
The janitor, because he just
Because he's going
fucking
to clean
sweeps the
up
floor with everyone.
all the titles, mate.
Hey,
He's going to
that's
clean them
fucking
all
not
up.
bad. That's not bad. All right, so Mertz, who will never listen to this, and if he does,
No.
we've been picking on him.
I'll take 10% of all the butt
Yeah,
patches.
hook up my guy Ginge when you fucking get the janitor going. Who can we get to? So we don't even have our mate DB on the TV to start that yet now. So yeah,
No.
DB could have got that one going for us. Yeah. Anyway, that's not bad.
Well, we could give it a good push with the main event moto.
Yeah. The only thing is you could get the Lawrence. Lawrence has lots of options. Like, there's Loza, Laurie. There's a lot of Aussie. Like if anybody who's called Lawrence for a first name in Australia is going to be a Loza or a Laurie.
Yeah.
So there's but yeah, the janitor's not bad. Yeah, it does make sense. Like,
Because Hunter's already got his nickname, Katniss. Because
Katniss. Yeah,
he volunteered.
that's he did. He volunteered. Yeah. There's a lot of people not getting that right now, but
No.
but I promise you,
They will.
Katniss. Just have a good think about it, and you'll get it. It might take you a little while, but you'll get it. Let's get into these top tens, man.
Righto.
Righto. You want me to start? So 450s. This is our top 10 predictions for 450 class, which is
go top
honestly
5, and then I'll do top 5.
No, we'll start from 10, man. We'll start from 10 and we'll just work our way through.
From 10? Oh, fuck.
Yeah, man.
This is not going to go well.
Yeah. That's all right. It is so hard. It's so hard. Just before I start, there is 18 factory riders. 18 factory riders.
The field
and
is
then you've also got Dylan Ferrandis, who's not factory. So I mean, wow. So I've got this, and this will be the same thing I say for everybody who's not in like the top 3. But like, I'm sorry. Bam Bam's number 10 for me. Thoughts? Who's your number 10? And thoughts on Bam Bam being number 10? He's got to slow down a bit at some stage. That's it. And there was people I just had to put in front of him.
Well, he's slowed down that much. I didn't even think about him, and I've got Wilson in 10th.
Damn. Bam, huh? But the thing is with him, he is every chance of winning a race, and still I've got him at 10 because I just think that there's young people and there's young riders that are stepping up, and then there's also old guys that are stepping up to match the young guys, and I don't know if he's going to be one of them. If it rains at East Rutherford, he could win the race. So, but that's who I've got, man. You got Dino at number 10.
Yeah, I just think Dean, he's content with getting sort of between 10, 15. He'll just slowly chug away at the points, just be consistently there.
He is
drop
coming
out of
off
the
some
field.
really good.
He's always going to be a position better every time someone gets injured. Like, as sad as that is to say, but he's always in that 8 to 15 range. He's always there just scoring points.
He is coming off a very good Aussie series, and that definitely used to work well for Brayton. Brayton used to come into the AMA Supercross really tuned up from the Aussie Supercross. He's had some really good results in the early rounds. That's all right, man. I think that was our first loud burp. That was just a couple of minutes
it's all
back
just
there.
starting to curdle up.
And yeah, cool. Number 9, man. So number 9 for me, and I'm gonna say I still have to.
So nervous talking about this.
I have to say sorry again. I'm gonna say sorry a lot. Is
Stop
AP?
saying sorry, Steve. It's the truth.
I have to, man. It's the sort of guy I'm a nice guy. AP and AP is like my of the 450 class. He's either my favorite or my second favorite rider. It's a toss up between him and AC. Yeah, man. You know, and AP the same. It was, and this is what it says about this class. AP could win a race. You know, on his given night, same as last year when all our hearts were broken. But you know, I look at this list of who I've got in front of him, and I'm comfortable with it. You know, so
Yeah.
Who's your 9th man? Who you got in 9?
I've got Malcolm.
You got Malcolm at 9. Nice. I got him up a little bit higher than that.
Yeah.
Malcolm is the flying at the test track guy for 2024. He is the flying at the test track guy.
It's just you look at the year before last, and it was the run-ins with Anderson.
Yep.
It was always something, and it was always someone else's fault. That's what I've got written there as being in the race, really, and that's all I can really think about it. He's another year of not racing, which he's done many a times from injuries. Like, remember the Bullfrog Honda incident in the whoops? Like, did his leg again, come out swinging, but what happened again? Like, it's just time and time again it happens. And he's never finished a season on the 450. So what would make you think that he would be higher on the list? Like everyone says, you've got to finish the season.
I'll very much pick my list on heart, not head. So,
yeah.
I want him to do really well. You've probably also just fucked your chances of taking him barramundi fishing in Darwin. So, because you know he's a big fisherman. He's a big not that I know of, but he's a big fisherman. He loves fishing more than moto.
Catches them little bass. They're only little fish. It's no fun.
Bass. I don't even know what a bass is, man. I know bass is a big fish for people fishing in America, but I don't know what the fuck a bass is.
They're just little fish.
Little fish. Good eating. Must be good. They must be good eating. They must be good.
I think that the whole thing is that they're hard to catch.
They put up a fight.
It's not
they put up a fight. Yeah.
Being able to eat them or anything like that, I think they're just very hard to get to bite your lure, or it'd be along those lines. I think I've never been bass fishing, so
no.
But I'd say that'd be what it's all about.
I love a bit of fishing, but I'm a very my fishing knowledge isn't there. You know, like I'm not I'm not right up on stuff. Done a lot of fishing as a young bloke, but not right up on stuff. That's for sure. Flathead's my favourite thing to catch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you virtually don't have to fucking gut them, you don't have to scale them because they're not a scaly fish, and you don't have to gut them because all the meat's in the tail. So you just chop the tail off and you just cook that bitch up in some beer batter and she's good to go. Oof. So that's why I like the flathead. The only thing with a flathead is if you grab them wrong, that poison fucking dart will fucking stab you between your thumb and your fucking finger, and fucking that's not good. Oh yeah, man. If you're going for flatheads, take a rag or gloves or fucking whatever. Sometimes it's just the fucking plastic bag that your ice was in or whatever. It's like put something over your hand when you grab that bastard, because they've got these barbs behind their gills. They're not poison like send you. They're not poison like send you to hospital poison, but they're poison like make it fucking hurt poison. Yeah. But good eating. Good eating.
Yeah,
not
my
like
favourite is
ring,
mangrove jack. I love mangrove jack, and they're the same. They're hard to catch. They do get to a big fish, but usually when you catch them, they're not overly massive. They're fun to catch. They're delicious to eat. I like fishing off the bank with some live bait and stuff, just throwing the cast net around and living life on the edge with your ankles in the water and stuff around here. It's a bit of a wild thing to do.
Fish safe. There's no fucking way I'm doing that, man. Now my favorite is just down by the coast off a jetty. I mean, I don't have a boat, but down by the coast off a jetty. And flathead or whiting or just anything. It doesn't matter. But yeah, flathead's the only thing I'll keep because they're easy to prep and cook.
Yeah.
Whiting and that sort of thing tastes good, but it's too much fucking around, all the bones and shit. I might as well just fucking throw that back, and then if I want to eat some fish, you go to the fish and chip shop. So
we just use that for live bait.
That's the go, man. Who you got for number 8?
Number 8, I've got Anderson.
You got Ando? I've got Hunter. I've got Hunter, which was, and Hunter moved around my list a few times. I better not show the list because that'll be a spoiler. But there's a few there's some whiteout sections. There's some whiteout sections on my list where I changed my mind. I really didn't want to redo the whole list. And I just think I think there could be just a touch of inconsistency with him. I think he'll have some really good results. I think Hunter might get a couple of podiums, but I think there'll be just a touch of inconsistency there. So yeah, that's why I've got him number 8.
I've got Anderson written down for just another letdown year. I think the new frame on that Kawasaki, everyone's saying that it turns nicer and this and that. I don't think the motorcycle turning is going to make you actually want to do it. Because last year it just looked like he didn't fucking want to be there. He just didn't want to do it. Unless he turns up and I can see that he looks like he wants to have a crack, then I would put him a bit higher. But from last year, I sort of say 8's where he's at.
Cool, man. Cool. Hey, I'm going to just pause this for a pee break, man.
Yep.
These Carlton drafts are already getting to me. I'm old, man. All right, man, we're back. The old bloke just had to have a pee stop, and the young bloke just had to go and get some more VBs. So, dude, you were just talking about Anderson, and did you hear Anderson's explanation on last year from the media day they had at Anaheim?
Did he blame the shock?
Yes. Yeah. Thoughts?
I don't really know. They've always got to blame something, right? They can't ever put the blame on themselves. And I just sit here and think, fuck, you're such a good rider. Surely, I don't know, but surely you can ride around it. Surely you've ridden some shit stuff before and you've made it work.
Well, what he said was that
hands in the air and go, oh, I'm not liking it, and then just put an end to it.
Yeah, there was
a bit stupid.
There was two parts. there was two parts. So when he said like in the two parts, it made a bit more sense. Was where he said the pace had raised from the previous year,
Yeah.
and that when he tried to get up to the 23 pace from the 22 pace, the shock wouldn't allow it. It was
Yeah.
putting him on the
Okay.
ground. So there was, he did recognise that others had gotten faster than what he was doing in 22. So that made sense. What doesn't make sense to me, and it just never will, like ever, is when a rider recognizes something that's not working on a bike, and it's always a factory team. Factory teams are slow to remedy that. That they're like stuck in, oh no, this is the way forward, this is what we're going to do. Like Coop when he wanted to change the forks. There's a million examples that I can't think of right now
He wanted
where
to
a
roll
rider was
48.
like, this, where this shit is not working, let's try something else. And factory teams get all weirded out about it because of the, I guess I can understand it. I've worked for big companies before, and I can understand the politics of it a little bit. But yeah, that was but that sort of did give me confidence in Ando that, okay, so he's liking the new bike better. That shock problem's hopefully gone. So I've got him up the list a bit because his 22 season, man, was one of the best non-championship seasons there's ever been. I ran the stats on it for a story back then. And it was that's he won 7 races, and he podiumed X amount. I can't remember exactly, but that's our second burp. Second loud burp.
It's going to get worse from here.
For the
it's
show.
going to get worse from here.
Yeah. I'm not a huge burper from beer, man.
No?
Coke makes me burp. But beer not quite so much, yeah.
When
If we were smashing Cokes, I'd be burping a lot.
Depends if you smash 6 VVs in 2 hours.
Well, that's probably different. I'm only on number 4. And I have no intentions of trying to keep up with you because I'm old and I can't drink very good anymore. But let's move on to number 7. I got Cooper Webb, man, which hurts my heart.
Do you really?
It hurts my heart. Yeah, it hurts my heart to have Coop at 7.
Too
low.
Yeah, tell me why.
Because he's a 2-time champion, because he just seems to find a way. He's not a guy that I would ever write off. I'd never write his chances off. He's the guy that when he looks shit house like he did in Paris, and I can see him by about round 4 winning a fucking race. I can't see him winning a championship this year, but if we get to round 15 and he's in the mix, I won't be surprised either. The guys I've gotten, it's this shit is so stacked, man. Like, I will die on the hill saying 1990 was the most stacked and best ever season, but fuck, this one's up there. That
was the year I was born, so I never watched that.
So you're not right across it. Oh man, like I'm gonna refrain from getting on a rant about how good 1990 was because we got a lot of other shit to cover.
Yeah.
But yeah, just youngsters listening, just fucking trust me. Like, just trust me. Yeah. Yeah, it's maybe another show. Maybe I'll do a show where I dive deep into 1990 if I'm ever lucky enough to get one of the legends that race then or something. Yeah. That would be the go. But yeah, who's your number 7?
I've got Plessinger there.
You got AP there. Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah, I get that.
I've got written there. No wins, just chugs along.
Chugs along. Yeah, racks up points. Cool.
Finishes the season.
6.
Just AC.
6. You got AC. That makes me feel worse because I left AC off the list, and AC's my favourite guy. He's my man. I feel fucking so bad right now, man. I got this wave of fucking
guilt,
regret. Is it regret or No, it's fucking guilt. I've got a wave of guilt. I've just had a wave of guilt come over me. Fuck. How the fuck could I leave AC off?
Because
he's my guy.
I don't know.
Me and AC, I think me and AC would.
He finished the season.
Me and AC would be best mates if we ever met.
Step.
Yeah, we would be best mates if we ever actually meet. I'll be his best mate. It won't be Chris Betts, the baseball guy. I'll be AC's best mate. I don't know why. I think we just click. But anyway, yeah. So that's fuck. Okay. Yeah. But you know what? I would never be so happy to be wrong. I would never be so happy to be wrong. I can guarantee you with that. Yeah.
I just think he rides now not at that pace that he was previously. And he just sort of he does what he needs to get the season finished.
Yeah.
And he gets some podiums, but some bad results let him down. Like, I don't know if there's...
Yeah.
You know, anything could happen. He could just be sick one week, have a rough week. I don't know, but there's always a race sprinkled in there somewhere that will let him down, where it's like a 9th or a 10th or something.
Yeah. Yeah. This is hard, man. It's hard. So my 6 is Mookie.
Yeah, righto.
Yeah,
for a bloke that hasn't finished the season.
I know, yeah. I've bought into the hype. I have. There's white out under where Mookie is written because he was higher. I changed, and I've bought into the hype of the flying at the test track. Straight up, that's why he's my number 6. Yeah,
I was typing up Christian Craig to win A1 last year, and that was never going to happen.
You were, yeah.
I was on the train. It's like, he's going to do it. He's on the bike. He's got the team. He's got everything he ever wanted, and he just completely shit the bed.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah. You're not the same guy. Not the same guy as he was on that Star 250, is he? Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I haven't got Christian Craig on my list. No. All right, man. Number 5. So number 5, I've got Ando. I've got JA, which you've already had.
Yeah.
And that's based on that him talking about the shock and how he felt about the new bike and that sort of thing, and it's based on thinking back to his 22 season, which was so great. So who have you got at number 5, man?
I've got Roxon.
Cool. No, I
think no wins, but he'll be top 5 most of the year. He seems to like the bike as it is, prehistoric. And he hasn't been making many changes to it from what I've seen online. So that could be a benefit for him, where he's coming into the season a bit more open just to ride a bike rather than change a bike, which he has done in the past. I
man,
getting some podiums. I don't see the win there anymore for him. Not with the 4 people.
The Kickstarter on the podium, man. The Kickstarter on the podium. You're not seeing that.
Yeah.
Nah.
He'll
That's all
get some
right. Hey,
podiums, but I just don't think he'll get any wins. I just don't think he'll get it.
so I had this harebrained scheme. So I'm one of these old guys. So when I was a young bloke, you used to buy the trading post. So this is way before eBay,
Yeah, I
Craigslist
know
for
the
you
trading
US
post,
guys.
mate.
The trading post. And I'd go through that and I'd be like, looking for fucking bargains. I used to fuck around a lot with old cars, old bikes. And nowadays, I still do that. But nowadays, eBay Marketplace is sort of the new version. And I'll go through there. No fucking intention of spending a cent, but I could spend a fucking hour in bed looking at fucking Marketplace thinking, I could buy
Yeah,
that. I could flip that and make some money. I could buy that and make something cool out of that. Anyway, there was a really cheap, might have been blown up or mistreated or whatever, one of them RMX 450s, which are an RMZ based bike with an electric start. And I
yeah.
thought, that's the shit. I'm going to buy that. And then I'm going to buy an new RMZ and fucking make an electric start RMZ. Because I'm pretty sure I've heard somewhere, I think the cases are still the same. I think that the
Oh,
cases and all that, the bottom
well,
end is still the same. So you could make a new RMZ electric start. And I was thought, how cool would that be just to go to a race, line up as an old C grader on a Suzuki and just fucking hit the button and have everyone
yeah.
be like, fucking wow. Kenny doesn't
That's
even
it.
have that. And this old cunt's got a fucking electric start RMZ. But then I thought better of myself that I don't have the money all the time. So,
That'd be another thing for the SMX is make the riders ride a 10-year-old motorcycle.
Kenny wins. Kenny wins because he doesn't have to fucking
It's the
change
same
anything.
bike. It's the same bike.
Kenny has to change like three parts. Kenny changes three parts,
There's some
and
gold valves that didn't exist.
and everyone else is just in fucking turmoil. Yeah, that's I
you,
like that.
you
That
imagine
would
Jet and Hunter on that limousine looking Honda that looked like it was 100 mil off the ground with a
yes,
dual pipe set on it.
yeah.
Looked at, how
Go.
people
You
even
want to
buy that?
go back to Carby. Go back to Carby era. That's what would really fuck them up. Fuck everyone up. Go back to Carby force. Go back to even more than two strokes. If you go back to Carby 4 strokes, that would fuck everyone up. The only thing then is the only problem with that is that then the Lawrence brothers just give them the trophy straight away because the Honda was fucking so much better
Oh,
than everything else.
yeah.
When you with like the Carby 4 strokes, the only fucking one that was really good was the Honda. So that
I
would
can
be
tell you now, the 2006 Honda 125, they shit the bed with that bike. That thing is probably, it definitely is the biggest piece of shit I've ever ridden in my life.
is it really?
Yeah, it
I
was
don't
just an
know.
absolute piece of shit.
I don't know much about those last of the CR125s. Yeah, nice
It
looking bike,
just,
but I don't know a great deal about them. Hmm.
they put so
So that's your
much
most
time
hated.
into
That's your most
developing.
hated bike.
Hated. See them two jerseys up there? They were the
Yep.
two jerseys I got given to like race that bike through the shop up here.
Yep.
I got on that bike and that was it. I was over it. I couldn't do it anymore. It was just a fucking piece of shit. And I will.
Was it?
Everyone's going, oh, I wish
Was
I could
that
buy an
slow?
07. No, it was just always having dramas. Like you couldn't even
Really?
warm it up without fouling a plug. You
Mm.
you kicked that thing over, you were gone. You just had to. Anytime that motor was on, you had to just wring the fucking piss out of it.
Mm.
And it had spent
Okay.
that many hours in the shop trying to figure out what's going on. We put new head, barrel, changed all the throttle pin heights. We did jets, everything, new bowls in it, new exhaust valves, the fucking RC valve on the side of it. It was just a fucking piece of shit.
What's your favourite bike that you raced, that you've had?
As a junior, I wish I rode a Yamaha, a YZ125, because I can still jump on a YZ125 now and ride it. If I got on a CR125, I'd be scared. I just wouldn't be able to do anything on it. I'd just wait for it to die in the corner somewhere. But I reckon my favourite was my 2018 YZF 250.
Yeah. 18.
No,
Oh, yeah, 18, yeah.
Yeah, it was still kicked. Still kick it. I've only had one electric start bike in my life. That was my 2020 450. That black one that I bought.
Yeah.
But that too, people go, oh, you're in your 30s, you should be on a 450. They do this, they do that. But they are so fucking hard to ride, them 450s. I don't care what anyone says. A 450 is just, pardon me, a different
Are you a rever? Are you a
experience.
rever?
On a 450, I'm not, but on a 250, I am.
Okay, yeah. Because
So
I
on a
am
450, I'll ride
very
a gear
much
taller, but then on a 250, I'll just be in whatever gear. We'll just valve bounce and carry on like a moron.
Because I'm very much a lugger, not a rever. So I'm slow all the time, but I'm really fucking slow on a 250. Whereas on a 450, because I'm a lugger and a short shifter, I ride a lot 450 a lot better, even though I'm slow. But that said, I haven't ridden a 450 newer than a 16.
Yeah.
So they might have got a bit fucking wilder since then. So yeah. So you're a 250 guy now.
I'm part of the 250 religion for sure. I just don't think you can ride a 450 faster than a 250, and you can do it without being scared. You can just ride it, enjoy yourself. Like, the need
I get
for
it for sure.
is just a bit out of control.
Yeah, I get it for sure. Like, because I ride off road a fair bit as well as going to moto tracks. If I was only riding moto tracks, I'm riding a 250 for sure. But if when I get a chance to go to where I live, it is super flat. It's flat as fuck. But when I get a chance to go to the mountains and do some good trail riding, I love a 450 in that.
Definitely.
That is riding in the mountains, riding in the hills, trail riding on a 450 is great, man. Stick that bitch in third gear and just have a ball, And I've I really love that sort of thing, especially like my older 450, and is a bit of a tractor and that sort of thing. But still, man, I don't know. Nowadays, they've gotten faster. Like I said, the newest 450 I've ridden is a 16. It was a 16 Cowie. That was, and that was a fucking great bike. But so when I do eventually ever update, I don't know what I'm likely to get. That was burp number 3. That's 3 burps.
3 strikes, you're out.
Dude, no, man. There's no out. This is the Christmas show. Who you got at number 4?
I fully agree with what you're saying. Like, a 450 would be nice, like beautiful to ride out through what we call the bush up here, because there's no hills or anything. But just around the track.
Stick it in third, mate. Stick it in third and just enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
It'll go down any straight and up any hill in third gear, and you just you're just having a ball, letting it eat.
When you go to a motocross club and the fastest person at that motocross club is a 15-year-old kid on a 125, you don't need a 450. You need Jesus.
Yeah. Some of these kids, man, like ridiculous. Is there any
But then,
who's the where I was just about to move on to who you got number 4,
no, that's right.
but the on the outside gate we love tangents, so we're going to go off on a tangent, and it's a Christmas show, so it's going to run long. Who's the who? So in recent times or in ever, who's the gun rider? Who's the gun Northern Territory rider? Who's the guy that when the old Northern Territory moto boys are bench racing, they're who's the guy they're talking about?
It's Liam Walsh.
Oh, righto, yep,
Liam Walsh
yep.
he has got this ability on a motorcycle to just, it looks like nothing. He's just fucking with everyone on the track. He really is.
Is he any relation to David Walsh?
Yeah.
Yeah. What relation is he? Is he like a?
I think they're brothers.
They're brothers, are they? Yeah.
I think they're brothers. Yeah. I could be wrong, but I think they're brothers.
Cool. So
Liam's
David
now
Walsh
doing all the off-road stuff.
So David Walsh for international listeners is he's the premier desert racer of the time at the moment. So he I guess stepped into Toby Price's shoes when Toby went overseas. Yeah. And the Fink Desert Race, which is our premier desert race, and honestly, a premier desert race of the world. Walshy has, what's he on, two or three in a row, I think.
It'll be something like that.
Yeah, since I think when Pricey left doing that, we had Stokely win one. Rest in peace to him. He died in a desert race in the States not long after he won the thing. And I think since then, I'm probably forgetting someone. I'm sorry, but yeah, David Walsh has taken over winning the Fink Desert race since then. So yeah, and that is basically a race where if you've seen, you may not have seen, just Google Toby Price pre-running Fink, Finke, and you'll find a video where he is on a KTM 500 factory desert bike, and he is on the limiter in top gear for a full minute down a dirt whooped out sort of dirt track, and it looks like the trees are all stuck together like a blur. It's a pretty amazing video. So you can see why Pricey. You can see why he went on to win Dakar a couple of times. Yeah.
Another good one to watch from the Fink is Jason Hill. Pretty sure it's from 07. There's a 40. I'm pretty sure it's called the 40-mile mark. I've never been down there to watch it, but the 40-mile mark is just a ski jump, and I'm pretty sure Hilly just comes into that thing just fifth, nailed.
Launches.
Like 120 feet into just the most absurd looking thing you've ever seen. Just, it's filthy.
So the Fink rally is it is right at the bottom of your state, the Northern Territory. So it sounds like something that it's in the same state. That sort of sounds like something where you would be able to go and see. But how far is it? Like the Northern Territory is a big state, man. Like, so to put it in perspective, and I know I have US listeners, is so Australia geographically, the size of Australia is about the same size as the United States. And we have, what do we have? Seven states, 6 really, because the ACT is just a pissant little thing in the middle of
Yeah,
one
I think
state.
it's 5 states and 2 territories.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Because technically, some are called territories and some are called states. But yeah,
Yeah.
so same size. So whereas the US has on the mainland has 50 states, yeah, we have 7. So it's so some of the states are huge. Like how long is it? It's like at least a 2-day drive to go from one end of the Northern Territory to the other.
If you
So if you're
stop.
going from Alice to Darwin, a 2-day drive. Yeah.
If you
Cool.
stopped.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
So it's not.
you could do it, but it's a long stretch. Ooh, pardon me.
Cool, man. Let's get back
That's
on track to this
righto.
countdown, hey? Number 4, I've got Kenny. Who you got?
Sexton.
You got Sexton. Why you got Sexton at number 4? New bike.
Yeah, new bike, and I think he has problems with the pressure.
You do, man.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that one, but I can certainly see new bike settle in stuff. I think he's okay with pressure. I think his troubles may come to technique and certainly a mental side of technique, but I don't sort of see it as pressure. I think he's good with pressure. But yeah, tell us why, man. Tell us why you disagree.
Well, I've heard just on the online moto media that he deals with like imposter syndrome.
Yep, I've heard about this. Yep.
Where he doesn't believe that he should be there. So if he doesn't believe that he should be there, and you're adding in Hunter and Jet into the mix, that you've just been all you've heard about them for the last couple of years. You've been on the Honda 450, and now you've got a race against them. Whatever's happened for all that could be a negative for him if that's his train of thought. I just think the new bike, like you got Webb, who won 2 championships on it and has gone to the Yamaha. Is it that good of a platform to win a championship on with Sexton riding it? With the issues that he's had during the races, whether it's washed the front and stuff like that, whether that was bike characteristics or that was just a mental breakdown during the race, no one can really know, but it's a lot of them crashes have been crashes that we have never seen before.
Yeah. Well, my take on Sexton is I think that he is way too trusting of that front end, and there's a bit of a technique thing, a bit of a mental thing where when the track is fresher, he's okay, but as the track breaks down, he doesn't adapt, and he still trusts that front end in that corner or on that, in that whatever part of the track, he still trusts that front end on lap 18 the same way he would trust it on lap 1, but the track's fucked by then. That's my take. It's an uneducated, take from just a fan. I'm no fucking expert in any way, shape, or form. But but still, I mean, he's still the reigning champion, and I feel that going to the KTM, with the very smart people there, and I think his dad and his program and his trainer and all that's all very smart. I don't really have concerns about Sexton. I think he'll figure it out, So I've got him a little higher.
And that's fair enough. That's understandable. Like he is the reigning champion.
Yeah. But, and I've got Kenny there. I've got Kenny in number 4. And, man, fuck, if the 3 in front of him weren't so fucking good, that's why he's number 4. Fuck, he's really, Kenny stepped it up last year. He made a big advancement in his I can't find the right words, so I'll just explain it. But
his persona,
his mental state, I guess.
Yeah.
I feel that he was he just didn't have his shit together for a good while, and I think that when the press conference where he admitted that things were scaring him was the turning point, where it was like he admitted, he was opened up. That is so, when a person does that, it is, and I'm getting fucking deep now. That is so empowering and so gives so much freedom to a person when they admit what's been fucking with them. And he did that in a press conference. To me, that was a real turning point and it's fucking to outside people, it's totally understandable that a guy who had such horrific injuries would have demons about it. But to a guy that's such a driven guy with such high expectations and that, it's also understandable that he struggled to admit that. But once he did, to me, that was like the turning point where it's like, fucking job's on now, and his off-season ventures, I saw him in Melbourne, his stuff in the World Supercross in Paris, all that sort of thing, just looked really good, and just looked not just really good as a rider, really good just as a person. So I think I honestly, I don't think anybody at this stage of his career, I don't think anybody would begrudge him success. I think anything good that Kenny does from here on out, people would be just like, fuck yeah, Kenny. And if they didn't, then they're probably a bit of a fucking sad sack, sorry ass that, needs to look at themselves, so yeah.
And I think the Honda pressure for Kenny was it was just imploding on him, because it was 2017, like the kickoff of 2017. Who was the big dog running the show? It was Kenny.
Yeah. Yep.
And then he has that big injury, and he comes back. But I mean, again, he's back. He's the big dog. Let's see the big dog eat. And he doesn't.
Yeah.
So then it's a forever pressure to be like, be the big dog. You're the big dog. Come and eat, mate. Come and eat. I just can't. And I don't know if it was all the motorcycle or whether it was just in his head. Like, it would be nice to, have an accident like that and then go, I'm going to get onto a different bike and just see how I feel. I'm actually sort of thinking, how would he have went if he didn't get off the Suzuki?
Yeah. You don't know, man. Yeah.
Why did he even
I mean, that team was going away, but that team was going away.
Money, but you got trust in the bike. Like, look what Chad did. Like,
yeah.
You trust the program. You trust the bike. It got you some championships. Got you a lot of wins. Like, stick with that. It's still better than being off the bike for 2 years.
I'm pretty sure we're going back a bit, but I'm pretty sure he'd signed with Honda to go to Honda before he even won that outdoors with RCH.
Yeah, okay.
I'm pretty sure he was already signed to Honda. So, but I mean, that's the thing. The lure of factory Honda wants to sign you. Dudes are fucking signing it, like it's, even though, they talk about the RC curse and it's been so long, like factory Honda still has that that aura of that built in the 80s and 90s. So who you got number 3, man?
Just seems to
Who's your
be.
top 3? We're into the top 3. No, into top
This is the
3.
conversation we're going to get to. This is the conversation we're going to
This
get
is
into.
we're getting this shit's getting heavy now. Top 3.
Right.
How hard was
I've
it
got
though?
a
But yeah,
man.
who you got in third?
See, my top 3 were the easiest for me. I've got the
Really?
man that should always have the nickname the Spider, Mr. Paul Webb.
No, it's okay. Yep.
Because everyone knows at the end of the races, he will hunt you down, he's got you there, and he gets it done. You're caught in the spider web. Like, is there any sort of other way to put it? His nickname's got to be the Spider. Why hasn't it been for the last 10 years? Look what he did to Hurlings. Like, it needs to be the Spider.
I don't have an
And I
answer,
think
man. It makes a fucking lot of sense, man. I don't have an answer. He's been the shark.
that's been Tomac,
He's
hasn't
been.
it?
He should,
It's always the blood in the water. There's blood in the water. You've got a victim in the web. You're the spider.
Webby's been called the shark. Webby's been called the shark as well. But yeah, I know. I've heard the term Charlotte's Web because he's comes from that neck of the woods where Charlotte is.
But he's the spider.
Carolina. That's Carolina, isn't it?
Mm.
He's your number 3. Well, mine's Chase. So you've already had Chase. Yeah, I just have a lot of faith in him, like I touched on before, yeah. I have a lot of faith in the program and the people around him.
Either which way that goes, like both on new bikes, it's hard to pull that apart. Everyone can probably guess what the top 2 is going to be.
Yeah.
And they could be the same between us, but we'll wait till we get there. But having Webb in third was, pardon me, the fucking beer's getting to me.
Is that burp 4? Was that burp 4? That was sort of like a half a burp.
6 or 7. And I don't really give a fuck.
Oh, it's
still watching now.
Shit.
Congratulations.
Righto. Hang on a sec.
Maybe the viewers should go for beer with what we're doing. Go back to the start of the show, get some beers, and
I'm halfway through number 5. I'm halfway through number 5, so I'm well behind you on about fucking 10. But
no,
let me just put me.
I'm knocking around.
I'm putting my glasses on.
7.
Just put my glasses on for a sec, and so Carlton Draft. They should fucking sponsor me, shouldn't they? Carlton Draft. The bottle caps of Carlton Draft Stubbies have trivia questions. So I got 5 here. Let's give him a crack. So Australian Richie Porte. It was like, who the fuck knows that? What moto guy fucking knows that?
I'm surprised he hasn't been run over yet. Get him out of here.
Yeah, so if I'm a cyclist, but I'm not a dickhead cyclist. Richie's probably the same. Richie, shout out to Richie.
Like, this is my road space.
Richie's probably a fucking top dude, so shout out to him. But yeah, be a good cyclist.
He's never taken any peds in his life. No PDs, nothing.
But you can be a cyclist. You can be a cyclist and not be a cockhead on the road. Next question.
Give me one
country?
More, then I've got to use the toilet.
Oh, righto, yeah. Which country won the 2018 FIFA World Cup? Fuck it. I'll throw that one across the room as well. Let's start again. No, it was France. They're very general knowledge, sort of bogan sporting questions and that. Yeah. So this is bad radio. What does a farrier make? That's not bad. That's not bad.
Horseshoes.
Beautiful. Bingo. There's one for Ginge. Ginge is one up. This one, non-Aussies will have no chance, but it's funny enough. It's funny enough. In fact, Google it if you want a real insight into Aussie culture. Who played Sharon Strzelecki in Kath and Kim? Kath and Kim's a fucking great show. If you really want an insight into fucking Aussie bogans, it's pretty much Kath and Kim, or a series called Howzos, they're like documentaries into Aussie bogan life. So yeah,
I don't know who she is.
You know her face though, Magda Skabansky.
My missus watches Kath and Kim constantly.
Kath and Kim's
she's
pretty good. Yeah,
she's from England. That's all it's ever on. Or Upper Middle Bogan.
So she's
another good one.
She's learning Upper Middle Bogan is a very good show. Yeah.
Yes.
And you wouldn't believe it. Same question for beer number 5. So there you go. So I only had 4 questions. All right.
Can I do a quick?
Take the glasses off now
break?
so I can see this. Do a toilet break. Go for it, man.
Toilet break. Let's go. I'm gonna leave my headphones on so they don't shit themselves again.
Yeah. Don't disconnect your shit because it'll take too long to get it going.
I like your hat.
I got to take it off, man. It's fucking too tight. It's giving me a headache. All right. I'm just going to hit record, man.
Straight my shit together.
All good. All right. Oh, I never stopped it. That's all right. We're all good. We got all that. That might be funny for some outtakes. That might be funny for some outtakes.
I was going to say, fuck, you're Victorian. Your head should hurt.
No. No, it's Tasmanians that have 2. They have the second one. All right, man.
Pull your shit.
Righto. Do you want to count it in? Producer Joe style?
No, you're right. Nah. I'm
3, 2, 1.
BB.
Right. Righto, we're back. We just had to have another pee break and Ginge needed to stock up on. Ginge needed to do a beer run. So I got my big esky next to me, so I'm pretty right. If I empty that, the show's gonna get really fucking sideways. So I think I'm pretty right for that. But my 47-year-old bladder is definitely not up to scratch for a 30. I'm gonna guess 32-year-old.
33.
Ooh, I was pretty fucking close. I knew you were early 30s. So we're getting down to the nitty gritty here of our top 10 countdown. Choosing number 1 and 2 was actually the easiest for me.
Yeah.
Of all of them. And so if you're watching on YouTube, I had to take that fucking Christmas hat off. The cunt was too fucking tight. It was fucking giving me a headache. So I'm sorry if you love the Christmas hat. I like it. I usually wear that to family Christmas events and that sort of thing. And yeah, it's fun. The kids like it, that sort of thing. And I'll wear it as long as I can until it gives me a headache. Number 2, I've got Jet. No segue there, man. Just fucking straight into it. I got Jet number 2. So you know who I've got number 1. So I've got Jet number 2. Who's your number 2?
Jet.
You got Jet number 2 as well. Yeah.
I think that's the only position we've agreed on thus far.
It is, man. Yeah. And it's just, I just can't see, I can see him being the fastest guy. I can't see him not making a few mistakes this year in his first 450 season. And so there's one reason. The other reason is just purely just my heart. My heart wants Eli to fucking win. I'm an old cunt. I want the old guy to win another one before Jet probably goes on a run and wins fucking 4 of them, you know? So, big Eli fan, love the way he goes about it. And I want Eli to win. So there's a lot of heart in that decision. But there's also, I guess, the head in that decision is that I can just see Jet making a couple of mistakes that Eli won't make. What about yourself, man?
So this was the only decision in the top 10 that I made from the heart. The rest of it was from my head.
Yep.
I've been a big Eli fan since 2011 when he won Hangtown on the 250, his debut. That's a big thing to do from the get-go as a rookie. And in 2017, I really fired up on the Eli train, and I was putting the wheels on that fucking train in the station. I was building that fucking train. I wasn't driving it, I was building it.
You were tooting the horn. Were you tooting the horn?
He needs to get this.
On the train, though, were you tooting the horn?
Oh, yeah, after I finished
Were you like,
it,
choo, 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 choo,
yeah.
toot, toot, like Ralph on The Simpsons? Choo, choo.
It was inevitable that he was going to win championships. And
yeah,
the only thing that stands in his way from winning this one is Jet. Because just this year, the only thing that was in the way of him winning this championship was his Achilles tendon. If that didn't happen,
yeah,
we all openly say, like, you could have walked it home, man, with a couple of fourth place positions. Like, he didn't even need to be where he was when he got that injury. He's a year older. He's a year this. He's a year that. Fucking, have you watched him ride? Like, you see how good he was in 2017. You don't think he's as good, or if not better now?
He's better now. Yeah,
he's getting the results now where he wasn't back then. Yeah, 3 outdoor titles in a row, and then another one on the Yamaha. But doesn't that just say, like, Supercross outdoors in 1 year, cleaned it up, brand new motorcycle? He is the man to be. I don't give a fuck about what people say about Jet. Yes, he's the janitor, but he ain't cleaning shit till Eli has left the building.
that's right. That's right. He's got to clean up Eli's fucking mess afterwards.
Yeah.
After Eli's fucking smashed everyone, there's the mess that the janitor's got to clean up afterwards.
And Jet will beat the records Eli's left behind. Jet will win Daytona this year without a fucking doubt. Like, I'd put a fairly hefty wage on that. Just seeing what he did at the hybrid tracks. Like, you can't say that it's not going to transition through to Daytona. Obviously, Eli wasn't at them 3 races, but when you watch Eli race Daytona, it's a composed Eli. It's not a It's not an out of control Eli that ran down Dungey in 2017 through the whoops. It's
He's matured.
He's unlocked a different sort of dimension. And I said a while ago, the greatest thing to ever happen on this planet would be to get Danger Boy riding at Tomax. And it happened. And everyone goes, it's for the Dirt Shark video. I even said it about something on the Discord. They just did it for the Discord. And I would, pardon me, it's probably number 12.
What? How many is that? How many burps? We were going to count cans, but we're counting burps. Is that it's not 12, man. That's
reflux, like, man. I've got bad
it's
reflux.
Like 7. Is that 7? So here, hang on. So if you're listening, count Gingy's burps, right? And at some stage, I'll go back and I'll document Gingy's burps, so I know the actual tally.
I was a sweet, shy young boy back in the day.
Yeah. And I need some DMs of how many burps Gingy did, and I'll have it documented.
We need some scores.
Right, and I'll be the judge. Ratio. I'll be the judge of whether it was a burp or just a strange, like, Northern Territory noise, and there'll be a prize. Right? I don't know what the prize will be because I don't have any sponsors, but there'll be some sort of a prize. All right. So tell me how many burps Gingy did. This is the very loose Christmas special.
This is a Christmas party.
So obviously, I picked it. They did this. Honestly, the drinking at Christmas. Shout out to Moto Limited, our mates. We were both fans of Moto Limited show,
legends.
which is not happening at the moment. Hopefully, it comes back in the future. But yeah, Nick and Trent, the drinking at Christmas is absolutely an idea stolen from those boys. So shout out, lads.
It's an Australian tradition. Lads. Yeah, it's got to happen.
It is. It's a very Aussie thing to do. Aussie Christmas. It's the summertime. It's the first holiday of the summer, so it's synonymous with drinking. So obviously, my number one pick was Eli as well, man. And there's a lot of heart in that. Yeah. There's another one.
They'll be able to count it every time.
That's it. Honorable mentions, man. Honorable mentions for me was Dylan. I hope Dylan does great on that Phoenix Honda. I just can't see him doing amazing things. I can see him doing races here and there that are awesome, but maybe, satellite team figuring out things. It's tough. It's stacked. Christian Craig, I've just left him out. Really, I just don't think he's quite going to be there with the other guys I picked in the top 10. There's no sort of special reason for that. And AC, which I'm really disappointed in myself, to be honest, after you put AC in and I didn't. And he's my guy. He's my best. He would, like I said, AC would be my best friend if we ever actually meet and hang out and have some beers and talk about life. You know me, man. I can get very deep. I can get very deep and psychological on shit. And I think me and AC would be best friends. So I'm upset at myself for not putting him in. But have you got any honourable mentions, man?
So I probably spent an hour going through my top 10, and I got to 10th, and Hunter and Jay Coop. I just had I couldn't find I couldn't even find a spot in my mind for them to be in the top 10 to write them down because they've never really shown me that they can do it. Both have had troubles finishing a 250 season, even in an outdoor season, which throws a red flag for me in the big scheme of things for a Supercross season, which is, I don't know what you'd say. I'd say it's at least 3 times harder than an outdoor season. So everyone goes, oh, you've got 2 motos, but you go to A1, you've got 2 qualifiers, you've got your free practices before it, you've got your heat race, then you've got the main event. So I would say the Supercross season would be even harder to finish than the outdoor season. Hunter and Coop in the mix. I don't even have any notes about Barsha anywhere. Completely forgot.
You forgot about Bam.
Yeah, especially like how well he was doing at the end of the year. Like at the end of the Supercross season, he was riding really good, and I've like filled it all out, and I'm like looking at it going, oh, fuck me.
You might get haunted, man. You might get haunted by Bam. Imagine if you had a dream.
But the same shit.
Imagine if you.
All the time.
Imagine. I can
shit.
see.
It repeats.
I can see
Gingy
goes to sleep tonight. Gingy goes to sleep tonight and he wakes up in a cold sweat from a Bam Bam dream. A Bam Bam dream. You imagine, Gingy walks into his workshop, he's dreaming, he walks into his workshop, opens his fucking toolbox and Bam's in there. And fucking jumps out and attacks him.
Tight slug just on his TLD pants, just
in his size 24 pants, even though he should have a size 30.
Just aggressively trying to buy you.
Yeah.
You really.
What do you think of that?
Know.
What do you think of tangent? What do you think of this tight gear, man? Have you been wearing the tight gear? I'm very old school. I'm very I buy pants a size big at the moment because I'm not into the tight gear.
Yeah. So the no fear gear is from 06. And they're large. That's what I used to wear when I was 15. The camo jersey down the bottom is an extra large, and it's not real long, so you have trouble trying to tuck it in to your pants. And it's tight. And the arms are real short. So, like, really, I'm a large, but because my arms are so long, because I'm 6'1", I need an extra large for my arms, but it's still not long enough to like tuck into my pants properly. And
you're a long cunt.
Tight, it shows the beer gut. Like if I walk around in my motocross gear, I look like a fucking pregnant woman.
dude. Right, hang on a sec. Yes, you're still young. All right, but I understand. Gear guys, right? Listen, hear me. What older guys need, so what anyone sort of mid-30s up needs, we need tight on the shoulders and the chest, show the old guy muscles,
down.
And we need loose at the gut.
And
loose at the gut. Like, I'm an old guy who stays pretty fit. Like
longer at the bottom. So
yeah, like I'm a fit old guy. But trying to keep tight around the, from the nipples down, that's fucking hard for an old guy. Like you can't keep your shit tight there. Unless you're Dave Goggins, you ain't keeping your shit tight there. Or unless you're Dave Goggins or Canada Jeff, you ain't keeping your shit tight there. Above the nipples, we still have some we still have some dude strength, you know. So we want the tight around the chest and that, loose around the gut. Gear guys,
Loose
old guy
around
cuts.
the gut.
I'm telling you, that is fucking marketing gold. That's marketing gold. That's what you
Because you
need.
got to tuck that tight gear in so hard into your pants. It's like so tight on your chest. Fuck me, I do like 5 laps and I got to pull off because my nipples are just like wanting to leave the galaxy. They're that
Dude,
fucking sore.
do you nipple tape? Do you nipple tape?
No, I don't fucking nipple tape.
Dude, you need a nipple tape. Seriously. I nipple tape.
I will take your word for it, but I've never done it. I've just pushed through and dealt with it.
Nah, you got a nipple tape, man.
So
Definitely.
I'm
Especially as you get older. Yeah. Oh, nah. That's the thing. I'm a Victorian. I'm a soft cunt. You're from the territory. So this motherfucker doesn't even wear fucking knee braces or knee cups. Nothing. We're talking bare knees.
No,
so you were like,
nothing.
Did you make A grade or you were like a fast B grade or an A grade guy? You're about that pace? You make A grade?
When I was a junior, when I started riding my piece of shit 06 CR 125, I crashed that on a practice day. I was showing off to some friends at school. I threw a whip over this big step down, and then I overjumped it, come over the double into the corner. I landed into the face of the berm, and I just got punted.
Hang on. I just need to make a note about the showing off the school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was young. I was 15.
Because that's it. We need to dig into that. That's probably another episode, but we need to dig into the showing off to the schoolmates because that stuff's great.
In that red jersey there.
No, even better.
I hit the ground. I jumped over a lane of the track onto the start lane. My front mudguard hit the ground first. I was still on the bike. The bike rolled over the back of me, and I was knocked out. I was definitely knocked out. And the caretaker and some people that were down there were throwing rocks at me. Sorry, there's burp number 8. Basically,
that's at least number 10. That's at least burp number 10.
Everyone thought that I crashed on the straight.
Hang on a sec, man. So these motherfuckers are throwing rocks at you?
Yeah.
Just pause for a sec. So this is we're getting into real territory shit here. So if you're listening, Google the territory news. Is that what the paper's called? The territory news?
Yeah,
where the fucking wild shit gets reported.
Yeah.
NT News. Pay the fucking subscription, guys. This is if you want to if you want your Mick Dundee shit, this is territory news, all right? Shit's different up there, all right? So start again. So he's fucking knocked out and cunts are throwing rocks. All right? This is your Northern Territory fucking safety standards. That he's hang on. There you go.
Ding, ding.
What number is that? Like fucking 10?
4. No, this is number 9.
Number 9. Okay, that's all right. I don't feel too bad. I'm on 7, so I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable being on stubby number 7. If you're on number 9, that's all right. That's good because I'm old and I can't drink for shit. So back to it. These cunts are throwing rocks at you while you're knocked out, which is so territory.
It's like, get up, cunt. There's no kangaroos around here. Make a run for it. But I was out, and I was like, I got up, and I thought, and I'm wearing a no fear helmet. Like I actually had one of them. I don't know anyone that ever wore a no fear helmet. I just got that through the gear deal that I had. And I got on the bike and I was like, because my mates saw the crash, but they're like, oh, it didn't look that bad. And then the people that were like throwing the rocks, they didn't see it. Like, get up, thinking I just weeded out on the start line or something. I did 2 laps and I'm like, I'm feeling my abdominal area. I'm like, I'm still jumping everything. I'm doing my pace. I'm like, but I'm just having trouble like breathing and moving. Oh, fuck. Something's going wrong. And I used to ride my bike from my house to the track, and I was meant to do stand-up laps till my dad got there. And obviously that day I didn't, because I was showing off to my friends from school. I just clicked fifth and just seat bounced this step down through the biggest
Showing
I
off,
could have ever done.
showing off from the kids from school. Now, hang on a sec. So, just hang. So, the friends from school, was there chicks involved in the friends from school that you're showing off to?
No, these are just all dudes that I
No
did
chicks.
freestyle BMX with. Nah, no chicks. No chicks.
No chicks.
I was
Okay.
just big dogging it, mate. I was big dogging it.
It's probably, you're probably lucky that there wasn't chicks involved. Well, I can remember chicks coming to watch. I can remember when chicks would come to watch guys ride, and yeah, all the levels were raised of what all the levels were raised of what you were prepared to do when there was chicks watching.
Well, I just did this for a group of boys that were at school with me, and I got on my bike. I did my laps. I just pull up. I went to the toilet, and I was like, "There's something wrong with me." And I've looked at my dad. I was like, "I fucking had a big crash before. Something wrong with me." And I went to do
You
a
piss
piss.
and blood.
I got a cock that's like this big. It was fucking because I was
Oh,
going through shock. Like I was already in shock. I'm like trying to piss.
is
I'm
that
trying
what
to
happens
piss. I'm
in
like,
shock?
yeah, I couldn't
Is that what
piss.
happens in shock? What you get? Your
Yeah.
cock shrinks in shock.
Yeah, it's like a balloon
Really?
knot, mate. Yeah. And
Really?
I jumped
I don't
on.
think I've
I
ever
jumped on my
experienced
bike.
that.
Me old man's gone. Get on your bike, ride it home. I'm not fucking taking you home. The same, moto dad. So I rode 6Ks home, jumped in the shower, and my piss was like redder than the devil's dick.
Fuck. Yeah, this. I don't think I've ever. Don't think I've ever pissed blood. I've spewed blood from drinking things, but I've never pissed blood from an accident. No, that's one I haven't done. I've smashed myself up pretty good, but I've never pissed blood from an accident. Yeah, I think I've ever pissed blood at all.
So,
dude, that would be scary. It'd be scary.
Yeah,
scary.
But I'd had it happen before. I had a BMX accident, like at the skate park. I got a bruised kidney, and I come home and I pissed blood. It was like 4 or 5 hours in the hospital. They sent me back home and sort of said, "Don't drink anything other than water and electrolytes," and then it was all fine. But this one was pretty major. I rode home, and my dad had no interest in sort of. He knew I was hurt, but that sort of crash warrants like femurs, tib, fib, shoulder, collarbone, something. But I had no marks on me. Like I'd literally gone probably 75 feet, just helmet first into the dirt, and done 2 more laps. Ridden home, the ambulance turned up, and they thought it was child abuse.
Fucking hell.
Because there was no I had no grazes or anything on me. My dad's like, oh, go and have a look at the bike out the back. Like the subframe's all twisted, the pipes all smashed in, normal shit. And they've looked at the CRF 50 that I had that I used to ride around the bush with me mates. And they're like, oh, you couldn't do that on that. It's like, no, the other bike's like out the back. It's fucked. So,
What was the bike?
I mean,
what bike is that?
that was the 06 CR125.
Oh, fuck. Yep.
And so they loaded me up in the ambulance, got me on the green whistle. And I spent, at the time, I didn't know. Pardon me, that's like number 11.
There's another one. Burp. Yeah, count the burp. Count the burps, guys. Count them.
I'd spent, I would say, just on memory, it's a long time ago, I'd spent over a week in ICU. I'd ripped my spleen, my kidney, and my pancreas in that accident.
Fucking hell. That's hardcore even for a fucking territory guy.
And like I see, Brian Deegan is like, oh, you could do it, but your dad's a pussy. It's like, you quit everything because you tore your kidney, you piece of shit. Like, what was his spleen? It was like, I did kidney, spleen, pancreas. So I spent 4 weeks off the bike after that happened, and I raced the NT titles. And there was this young fella turn up. He was in the full factory KTM truck. I cannot remember his name by the life of me. I've spoken with Trent about it. He can't find out who he was. But he was Aussie number 2 on a KTM in 2006. And I beat him in a race on my home track. I lost that title by 2 points because he brake checked me in the sand.
That would be like
ICU.
I mean, I'm sure, like, if you've spoken to our guy Trent, 2006, that'd be like, it'd be before like Ty Simmons or any of those guys. Yeah.
No, but I remember Ty Simmons because he raced the 60 at the NT titles from
He'd be
SA
after that. He'd be after that, yeah.
At Alice Springs. Like, I remember Ty Simmons from Alice Springs. But I'm pretty sure this kid's name was Dylan. Dylan something. He was on a KTM. Trent sent me the results from the Aussie titles from 06. I never went to them, but people that I raced were like Robbie Chan and stuff like that were high up in there, but none of this, like the NT titles, aren't worth shit to anyone really. It was just a thing for me to be like, I went toe to toe with Aussie number 2 at my home track. Like, I can do something.
Hey, fuck that guy. Fuck him. Fuck that guy.
I'd love to know what he's doing now. I'd love to know. Like,
hey, he's probably the best bloke. He's probably the fucking best bloke ever. And if there's the slightest chance, chance he listens to this episode, fucking hit me up, man. Because imagine if we get you and fucking Ginge back on to fucking talk about that battle.
Because I remember,
but just for the sake of humor, just for the sake of humor, fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy, brake checking piece of shit.
Fucking, what a cunt. But anyway, we want to know who he was.
We were the only 2 kids on 2 strokes that weekend. We had 3 races on them 2 strokes in one night. We lapped the entire 4-stroke field in 7 laps.
So what size bikes you're on? You're on 125s?
125s, yeah.
So you're on that CR125 that you hated?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck, man. Imagine if you could have gotten like a gun mechanic like our guy fucking RH22 to fucking tune that fucking CR125. You would have won.
MPE to do my suspension or something. We didn't even know what doing rider sag was, mate. We never even knew what any of that was. I had a Vortex ignition and a Pro Circuit Shorty silencer. That was it.
That was your setup.
That was all I had. We'd never touched clickers, never done nothing. My dad's was a pro motocross rider from back in the day in Australia. He'd won a lot of Queensland titles, and then went to Speedway, and he'd won the Queensland Championship on a 2-valve and a 4-valve solo bike 3 years in a row. Mr. Dave Anderson still is now, just a fucking unit, just a wild cunt.
Let's move on, man, to 250s.
Let's go.
So 250s, there's only so much you can talk about because of the fucking pain in the ass thing of not knowing who the fuck's riding west to talk about for Anaheim 1. So as far as we can tell, it sounds like Joe Shimoda's riding west. Sounds like Juju is riding west because Tom Vial mentioned something about east. So there's a bit of investigation there. I don't know, man, and it all could fucking change tomorrow. It sounds like with PC, I'm sort of guessing that Max and Levi are riding west, and that's really because there's a lot of rumor about Faulkner riding east, and McAdoo and Hammaker are sort of had injuries that they're still working through a touch. So that's with PC, and then with Husky, the rumor is that RJ is going to do west because Guillaume Ferres is still learning Supercross. As far as the rest of the teams go, it's anybody's guess. So you can't talk about 250 too much. What we can talk about with 250s though is the hot favorites, basically. So no matter what coast they're on, favorites, which is obviously Hayden Deegan is the favorite no matter what coast he's on. My guy Joe Shimoda is winning whatever coast he's on, and then he's my guy. He's my man. So yeah, he's it. The little warrior is going to win whatever coast he's on. And then it's really so much we don't know, but really, to me, Shimoda, Deegan is the story of who's the front runners. I'm also a very big fan of RJ Hampshire. I love that guy's. I love his attitude, and I love his passion that he brings. So, huge fan of RJ. To me, those three guys, however it works out, whatever comes up in the wash. Latest thing I've heard is Deegan for East Coast. So, but yeah, fuck, man, we really don't know. Any thoughts on 250?
Just like I said earlier, I think Deegan going east is a smart idea to win that, and then give yourself the opportunity to go west in 25 and win that as well, rather than just battling away at the West Coast your entire career. Sorry, and it's like
there's another one, another burp, another burp. Yeah,
Faulkner and what's his fucking name?
McAdoo.
They have been sort of left in the dust. There's been so many champions come through and progress into the 450 class since they started. You sort of think, like, why do you keep beating your head against the wall? Try something new. Like, change your team or something. The
I
cow
believe
thing's
in
not working
Forky.
for you.
Dude, I believe in Forky.
No.
I believe in Forky. I do.
I'd put
Nah,
a pretty fair. I'd put a hefty wage on that with you right now. That doesn't
you don't
finish the
believe in
season.
Forky.
No.
Fuck,
He's
really?
a fast rider. He's got everything he needs to have to do it. When the fuck has he ever finished a season?
I know, man. I know.
He hasn't finished a season to win one. So why would you say that this one is going to be the one that he wins? You would finish a season before you won one, wouldn't you? Like, it just doesn't. He was this phenom back in 17 that was going to come through and just clean house everyone. He fucking didn't. He's got heaps of wins, but that's it. Like, wins don't get you a ride. No one gives a fuck. You're not finishing the season.
I can't
Got
argue
to
with that,
finish
man.
the season.
I can't argue with that, man. Honestly, listening to you, it's all like I'm talking about Forky from the heart. You know,
Yeah,
I want him to, man.
I
I
want
want
him
him.
to as well, but I just
I
don't.
want Forky to go. I'd love nothing more. And this is coming from a guy who I wasn't a Forky fan. I wasn't
Nor was
Team
I.
Forky at all. I wasn't Team Forky, but I am now.
This is really hot.
Oh, dude, honestly, man, that I'm not even on board with that, man, because like
I'm gonna get
I'm
rid
old,
of
man.
all the
Like,
jerseys. I'm just gonna have just that posted on the wall.
nah, man, honestly, like, so I'm old, and I believe that an older, well, this is how I am. So I believe as you get older, your tastes in the ladies have to evolve, and I look at someone like Forky's girl. I can't even remember her name. She's a kid, man. To me, she's just a kid. She's a skinny little kid, you know. So to me, there's no like she's hot or whatever. She's a fucking little kid. You know, she's a young woman. You know, like I'd be more interested in what does her mum look like? You know, like I'd be more interested in Forky's. I'm more interested in what. Ginger Bear's lost it. Ginger Bear's lost it.
What's your mum look like?
No, but seriously, like, I mean, I'd be more like, fuck, Forky's mother-in-law is fucking hot. Like, that's more I'd be looking like, because you know, like, it's different when you're an old bloke and you got your own kids and all that. Like, your tastes change. You know, so like, I don't know. I'm a little bit worried when I hear a guy that's my age who's still looking at a fucking 21-year-old and thinking, "Oh fuck, they're
Oh
hot."
yeah.
And they're my age. I think, fucking, what sort of fucking deviant are you cunt? You know, like, so. But anyway, but wind it back. Forky's missus, she's a super pretty young lady. She's a child, but she's a super pretty young lady. So that's cool. But man, I'm Team Forky. I hope he does fucking great, you know. I hope he does great. And you know, even to like, I'm a storyteller, man. Like I like to write stories.
That was number 12.
I'm always here for the story. Another burp. Always here for the story. And the story of imagine if Forky wins the 250 title this year, jumps into 450s, and takes a 450 title off Jet. Imagine the fucking story, man. Fuck, imagine the story. Imagine how we're talking about that in 10 years' time. I'm always here for the story. Imagine that. Imagine if in fucking 2035 we're talking about, fuck, you remember in fucking 25 when Forky fucking come out of nowhere as a 450 rookie and won a title. Like, I love shit like that, man. That's what I'm here for. So, fuck yeah.
Can we take a piss break?
Team Forky. We can take a piss break, man. I'm good, but if you need to go, absolutely, man.
I need to have a piss break. We've got one more beer in the satchel, I think. Do we need to get some
fucking
more beer?
hell, man? Are you drinking fucking two at a time or what?
No, just one at a time.
You're a bit quicker than me. That's right. It's fucking hot in the territory. Go for it, man.
I have heaps of practice.
Hey, so, dude, 250. Is it worth talking more about 250? I'll try and find a couple of things. So, interestingly, it looks like maybe Jalek Swole is going to ride possibly west on Triumph. That'd be cool. I like Jalek. He's a cool dude. Be cool to see. To me, Triumph has just been way too slow, too cryptic, too weird about their marketing. So it'd be good to just fucking see the bike out there.
Just release the bike, get a race team, and shut the fuck up.
Get it happening. Yeah, it'd be good to see. No great expectations of what happens, but just get it out there. It would be good to see. What else have we got?
Evan Ferry, he's riding east.
He's riding east, is he? I wasn't sure if he was just futures or east, but
I would have thought being on the Triumph team that Swole would have been west and Ferry would have been east.
Yeah, I guess so, because that's too. But then there's also
riding outdoors.
Yeah, there's also some. There's a little bit of Moserman talk about Triumph, but it's just talk.
Release that I saw today.
No, it's not. Video. It's not. But you see, there's been a fair few rumors, bits and pieces about that. Star Racing, very.
Can you tell the Colonel to shut the fuck up? We're trying to have a podcast.
Can you hear the Colonel?
Yeah.
Can you hear the Colonel?
Yeah.
He's been hooking in just the last
He wants to get involved. Yeah. He's like, it's been 2 hours 40 minutes. Get in, Colonel.
He loves Christmas, man. He loves Christmas. He's a social bird. He loves Christmas.
A violent little fucker. Violent.
Hey, if anybody doesn't know the Colonel, well, do yourself a favor and fucking investigate. Look him up. The Colonel Rooster on Instagram. He's got his own page. Oh, he's got his own page. You fucking
Crows again.
Yeah, he's into it. Dude, there's not too much else that you can talk about 250 really, without knowing what the fuck is actually going on. There goes Colonel again. He's into it. He's a good boy. He is a good boy.
Oh, I guarantee he's a good boy. But is Kitchen going to continue to be start dependent?
I think so, man. Yeah. I think so. Kitchen reminds me of Justin Cooper. There's another one that I can't think of, but particularly Justin Cooper, where if he's super fast. If he gets the start, he can be fucking gone. But I think adversity is thrown his way and he gets a bad. It's almost, and this is an uneducated opinion, but it's almost as if when he sees the adversity of I've got a bad start, things aren't going my way, that he gets a little disheartened and it puts him off his game.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of riders through history that have been that way, and I see
Well,
Kitchen as one of those because fucking hell he's fast when he gets a start and things are going his way. But like that's not enough. He doesn't have enough tools there in his fucking tool bag. He needs to be able to get a bad start and be like fucking carve through the field like a real front runner can.
Yeah.
So that's the difference in him, I think. If Kitchen won 2 rounds, I wouldn't be surprised at all. And if he came 8th in the rest of the rounds, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Because he's a very start dependent guy, and it's very, very much like Justin Cooper, who is fast as fuck, like fucking hell, he's quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, gets a bad start and he's got to come through the field. It's different, So what else have we got? What else have we got in these satellite teams? Vince. Let's talk about Vince. How's Vince going? Vince is the guy. Vince is the guy that we don't necessarily like, but oh fuck, we like the fact that he's there. How's Vince gonna go?
I actually like Vince.
Me too.
I like that villain character. That doesn't have the ability to warrant his place in the championship where he is. But fuck, he always is in the right spots at the right time.
The forward.
Like, yeah, he's always there doing what he needs to do. Like, could you imagine? Would you even know who he was if he didn't get good starts?
No. If he didn't get good starts,
no one even know who the fuck he is.
He didn't cause the drama and the I'm trying to find the right word. The drama and the carnage, the
fucking absolute chaos.
The chaos. Chaos is the right term. Thank you. If he didn't cause the chaos, he would have it'd be just like, who are you talking about? Who is he? Yeah. Yeah.
Is he riding?
Apparently he's riding 450.
450.
Apparently he's riding 450. So early word was 250 again. That was the early word, 250 again. But apparently he's riding 450. Top. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, honestly, Vince isn't riding for anyone else other than Tony. So Tony and Genova. So, but yeah, I reckon Vince is.
I applaud that sort of shit. I applaud that sort of career. Like, you haven't won any titles, you haven't done anything amazing, but you've upset Eli, you've upset Roxon, you've upset Webb, you've upset Barsha. You've had points where you're like, I'll pay you $2,000 to take this fucker out on the start line in the first corner.
Yes. Yeah. That's our
Like,
last
that's a
year
legacy.
World Supercross.
That is a legacy to live by. No matter who the fuck you are, like, you have done what you've needed to do to make the money you've made. And Vince is
Is
by no
it fair to
means
say?
short of cash.
Do you think
Surely.
do you think that Vince is at the level where like minstrels will write songs about Vince?
No.
He's
But
not
a
at that
tribute
level.
band. A tribute band,
Man,
Will.
I said that. I thought I was setting that up for a fucking hit. I thought I was setting that up for you to hit that out of the park and say like Vince minstrels will write songs about Vince. I think they will though. And then you said fucking no. Ginge. I set that up for you and then you said fucking
band.
no.
It'll be a tribute band. No, because
A tribute band?
at WSX, all he does is upset Dean Wilson, who I've got for 10th. Like, if you get a whole shot and you're upsetting Wilson on an arena cross track, you're not going to be any trouble for Eli, Jet, Webb, Sexton, Roxon, AC, AP to get around. Like,
so
not a factor.
will minstrels write songs about Dean?
Maybe. Unless Dean writes songs about himself and copyrights them. Who knows?
I think they'll write songs about Dean.
Why?
I think anybody with half a brain could agree that Dean has the prettiest lady in Supercross.
Oof. I don't know. I'd go to hand-to-hand combat.
Oh, come on.
Over that.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Who? I think Dean has the prettiest lady in Supercross. She's still super young. Like I'm still at that stage where like I was like, what's her mum look like? But she is beautiful. She is beautiful. Dino's missus is beautiful. She is a gem. She is an absolute gem. She is a gem. He has done exceptionally well. Yeah. Who you ranking in front of Dino's missus?
Well, if we could do it for a time scale thing and put someone at that same age, after seeing Reedy's missus getting that Alpine Star gear last week, whew.
She stacks up. Yeah, Reedy's missus stacks up. She's done all right. She's kept it tight, hasn't she? She's looked after herself.
Did you not
Good
see
on
it?
her. Yeah, no, I saw it.
Like,
I might. Sounds like 25. I may not have.
Yeah, imagine that at 25, the old pull and jiggle. Yeah.
Sounds like I may not have like looked as closely as you. I may not have like screenshot, zoned in, blown it up, you know, as much
and
as you, Ginge. But
half your age.
No,
still half your age.
She still is half my age. Yeah. Nah, she's very, very, very pretty lady as well. Yeah, very, very pretty lady.
Yeah, I notched that up there pretty highly. And Riley would slot into that category pretty.
Is that
that's stiff competition?
Riley's Forky's, yeah. She's actually like a model, like a flash ass model for some model company or something. Is it? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't know too much. I only know her as Forky's missus. She's the blonde monster. She's a blonde monster chick. You know, that's all I know.
Her and Forky did the 2-stroke poster deal on his Instagram. It's like poster style, like back in fucking mid 2000s.
Okay, nah.
They've only just done it. Looks pretty good.
Okay.
Like if that was punched up in some magazines back then.
Do you think that? Do you think she could have been a Chico Roll girl?
Chico Roll.
Now I'm digging deep into. Now I'm digging deep into.
Mate.
Now I'm digging deep into Australian culture. Could she have been a Chico Roll girl? You're too young for this.
I know the Chico
You're too
Roll.
young for it.
I know the Chico Roll.
All right.
But
we might leave it at that. We better move on. Hey, I reckon our pre-season reviews just about sorted out. Let me just flick through my notes here. I think we're pretty good. We've done our top 10. We've talked a little 250, the 250 that we can. Talked a little privateer stuff. Here's a dark horse, man. Just as I'm flicking through privateer stuff, and I've said Justin Hill, man, he had a fucking good year last year on Team Tedder. He's probably the one of all the ones we haven't talked about who could do really well again.
I'll tell you a little story about Justin Hill.
Shoot.
From the last round in Salt Lake. There is a bunch of us in Darwin that run the Fantasy Supercross, the RMSX.
Yep.
And it's a $100 buy-in. Pretty sure I invited you into it, but you didn't want to be a part of it. I invited.
No, I can't do it.
Still, he didn't want to be a part of it.
I can't do fantasy. Yeah.
And I spent 16 rounds being beaten by 2 women. And it wasn't until the 17th round that I won that $800 because I put Justin Hill in 3rd.
He was your champion.
And 10th, what was it? 10th. It'll come to me.
Justin Hill was your champion.
Yeah, got me my 3rd, and then it was fucking Grant Harlan for 10th for the wild card. Won me the fucking $800 on the last round. Just smoked it in.
Fucking hell, eh? Justin Hill. Hey, have you reached out to Justin to just let him know how you fucking... You should reach out. Reach out.
You helped me win $800. I just blew on beer.
No, don't tell him you blew it on beer. Tell him a better story than that. You know, like, don't tell him you blew it on fucking beer. That'd be shit. Just tell him that, you know, I don't know, you fucking the $800 that he won you paid for an operation or something. You know, like. You got to fucking...
Yeah, an operation at the BWS down the corner.
Operation on your liver.
Yeah.
Righto, man.
There'll be an operation. I just want to have a quick shout out. Is that all right?
Oh, shout out, man.
I want to have a shout out to Lewis Flack, Cord Gudger from Palmerston Repco Auto Centre, Morgs from Launch It Race Designs, Caddy, and Steve Schultz. Most of all, Trump 2024.
Shout outs. I don't know who any of those cunts are, but shout the fuck out to you. If you're a friend of Ginge, you're a friend of mine. And Trump, like I don't like any fucking politicians, man. So I don't know what to say about that. I think they're all cunts, no matter where they come from. But I don't. My knowledge about politicians is extremely fucking low, also. So, dude, let me just look at my my different questions. One I definitely need to know from Captain Gingerbeard is who is your hall pass?
This is my hall pass.
So if Mrs. Gingerbeard gave you a hall pass on a celebrity crush, who is that?
Jessica Alba from 2008.
Ooh, fire. Jessica Alba's she's like at the tail end of my era, I guess, yeah. Absolute fire. Yeah. Totally respect that. Dude, she was fire. Yeah. What was the show? What was the show? What was
What
that
was it?
show?
Fucking Deep Blue?
Oh, nah. She was in a series. I loved it.
Oh,
It
I've never
was
seen it.
I'm not a TV guy. Like honestly, we could do a top 10 of my TV of my TV series I've watched, and I'd struggle to fill 10. That's how much of a TV guy I am. But Dark Angel, that's it. Dark Angel. I love that show. That was fucking cool.
All right,
Mostly
go
just because of her.
Jennifer Lawrence from 2012.
Stick with Alba, man. She's got Lawrence covered. Dude, hey, here, I know you're into music, and I know your answer will be a band that I've never heard of, but what is your album, mate? One album to listen to for the rest of your life. What is it?
So I heard you bring this up with RH22, and I was massively disappointed in Tutu's answer. But mine would be between North Lane's newest album, Obsidian, and Architects. All our gods have failed us.
And they are
Metal, like
they are
metalcore,
they're like metalcore bands. Yeah.
heavy, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard of both of them, but I don't know them. Yeah, I don't know the particular songs. Now I've heard of the name of the bands.
Because
Cool,
Tutu's
man.
not that much younger than me, is he?
He wouldn't be too much, nah. He's
He'd
getting
have to be
married.
20, 26, 27.
He's getting married.
Everyone calls her the cougar. Fuck, you want a cougar? She's sitting in a lounge room in there, mate.
Yeah, she older than you.
No. But she's older than Tutu.
Hey, so three industry people that you can choose to go on a road trip with you, and where are you going?
3 industry people
Mm.
that are going to go on a
That
road trip with me.
anything to do with the motor industry, media, mechanics, riders, brand ambassadors, you name it, and they're going on a road trip with you. So who are the 3 people, and where are you going?
So I reckon I don't know much about this bloke, but I like the way he sounds. I'd pick Johnny Rowe. Johnny Rowe would be coming with me.
Truck driver of the year. Truck driver of the year 2022. Yep.
Johnny Rowe would be coming with me. And then from the other end of the industry, I'd have to pick another sticker guy. It'd be Morgan Robinson from Launch It Race Designs. And
he's your Darwin graphics guy.
Yeah. He's up there. He's the He's the 89 up there on the corner.
Yeah.
And I reckon DB is too much of a pussy. Daniel Blair is just like a walking, sopping pussy. I'd have to go.
Damn,
I'd
that's
have to
fucking
go.
harsh. That's harsh.
Look, he's just a walking, soaking wet vagina of a man. I'd have to go TMD. Toolman Dan. Shady
Toolman
Cam,
Dan
Black
to harden things up a bit.
Yeah, and
Bring a bit of masculinity in with Toolman Dan.
Bit of Arnhem Land, bit of Shady Cam, bit of fishing, bit of doing some shit that we're not used to, and see where it goes from there. Brings out.
So you're going to take Toolman Dan on the river for some barramundi.
Look, if he wants to go looking for barramundi in a fluoro green Monster Energy mankini, I will take it.
Beautiful. Oh, he'd be up for that for sure. For sure. For sure, man. Cool, man. I reckon there's some good answers there. Hey, man, so you know how we end the show. And I know, because you've already said to me there's no fucking way you're singing. But that's all right. That's all right, because I've got it covered. I'm happy to fly solo. But dude, if we get to the chorus and you're feeling Kenny Rogers, you're feeling it in your heart that you know when to hold them. If you know when to hold them, you're happy to join in. All right, I'm happy for you to join in. I should say. I'm starting to slur. What are we? 7 stubbies. That's enough. I'm fucking old.
2,
I might
4,
have 1.
6, 8, 10, 11.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm happy with the fucking statistics there. I might have 1 more afterwards, but that'll do me. Speaking of drinks, so I handed him my bottle, and he drank down my last swallow. Then he bummed a cigarette and asked me for a light, and the night got deathly quiet. And his face locked stole expression said, if you're going to play the game, boy, you got to learn to play it right. You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money. When you're sitting at the table, there'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. Thank you very much, Ginge, for being on here for the very first Bogan Christmas episode. Apologies again to anybody who's listened for the drunken banter and swearing and anything inappropriate that I've said or that Ginger said. And thank you very much for listening. Cheers.
Number 15. Goodbye.
There was another burp right at the end there. Count the burps. DM me the accurate amount of burps, and there'll be some sort of a prize. Don't know what it'll be.
Get it because he's a pussy.
Cheers, guys.